Happy Sunday, everybody. It's our bonus Western Europe DPC day and also the last official day of 2 or 3 here. Obviously, we do have tiebreakers, but we can discuss that later because what really matters is the fact that I have Kezu and I have T on my panel. How are you both?
T, go first.
Hi, T.
I feel great. It's a Sunday, so it feels wrong to be talking about Dota. Today's the day of rest, relaxation, but not for 2 teams, not for us 3, and not for the people in PGL. Anyways, back to you, Kezu.
I can't believe you ever have a day off talking or thinking about Dota. That's a lie to you. I know you're lying to the audience right now.
I was playing Dota, that's the thing.
Yeah, I was playing.
I got taken away from playing my Pangolier 5, which was just memes and shit, and now I'm here. But luckily, this will also contain memes, and maybe not the S word.
Memes but not shit perfect. Kezu, you and I, we could run through what happened 2 days ago. You're right, T, having a bit of an existential cry. I'm sorry,
He
today
played
started
Pango
off.
5. He's excused. That was
Yeah,
probably
he
a rough
deserves
one
it.
to
You
go
deserve
through,
it.
So I understand.
All right, well, let's do our recap of what happened 2 days ago, what happened on Friday night, because that's how we sort of got into the position that we're in. It started off Tundra, Secret, and Secret needed this one. They genuinely needed this final win to put themselves in a position where they weren't guaranteed going down to Div 2, but unfortunately, even though they got Game 1, Kezu, Tundra did bite back in this series and got that 2-1 victory over them.
I mean, Secret are just the type of team where it sucks a little bit for them because obviously they do have a lot of losses, but against every team they play against, or nearly every team when they play, like they put up a good fight in at least one of the games, but then I would say the other teams, they just adjust better over the course of the series, and you know, they're gonna level up their gameplay. And the one thing that I also feel for Secret is that I personally feel a little sad for Amel. I think he's usually pulling his weight plus like more. Like he has like a weighted backpack on in every game, and sometimes he still carries his team to victory. It reminds me a little bit of Entity with Watson. But yeah, overall I think Tundra, they just look phenomenal, and Secret, they just fall a little bit flat every time they play.
Yeah, this game 2 as well, T, like even though they took game 1, game 2 went to 64 minutes. Like there was this realm where we could have seen Secret actually taking out this series. Like they almost were able to have this victory for themselves and put themselves in a significantly better position.
Yeah, again, I feel like Tundra, at least in game 2, that relentless aggression. I remember at least they timed the Medusa ages to kill her off as it expired, so then suddenly there was like an even bigger swing back in Tundra's way. But no, Tundra just showcasing the kind of their discipline in this series, the adaptation as well. I remember when we were covering the series, like each draft from Tundra, it just felt just different. Like their playstyle was slightly different, their aggression, their timings were all different. It wasn't as if they were following one script like they used to, and then just crush everyone. Like they're now showing like they have variation and the ability to crush teams. It's why they are the 7-0 Western European team. They are arguably already favourites for this major upcoming if, you know, they filled the full 5. So I don't know, it's, yeah, good form for Tundra. Unfortunate for Secret, and again, bottom 2 now in the DPC. They're probably going to be lower bracket for TI qualifiers. I'll be honest, I don't know what the rules are in regards to roster swaps, but potentially that could be on the cards if it is a viable option. Maybe they want to, you know, swap out one key player. I'm not going to name names, but it could help elevate their run. But alas, new highlights.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's all speculation, but what we do know that we don't have to speculate on was OG showed up in this series, Kezu. I don't know how else to put it. Like they really made a spectacle of Entity and tore apart all their drafts. Both games closed out in 30 minutes.
I mean, the OG had they had a very good day on this day against Entity. I feel like they leveled up not only a little bit of their gameplay, but also a lot of their drafts and like how they want to play together and kind of the combinations they want to go for. Whereas I feel like Entity, I don't even know if they stayed the same. I feel like they took a step back in terms of what they were doing. There were a lot of things and openings where I was like, yeah, this is for me personally, I don't really see the purpose of this. And then in the second game, I don't know how, but it kind of showed me that I feel like this team is kind of broken in a way with how they were playing, because I had not seen them play this individually and quite frankly put this badly ever. There was like a lot of like, even here, like you go in alone, this guy has Fairy Fire, or you're not, I'm pretty sure they don't kill him, but they end up dying. And there were multiple of these plays where people are just going in on their own and dying. It was very, very strange and sad to see.
And it's not like you're going in and being able to like trade, like even though you're dying, like maybe you still end up eventually getting the kill or someone else does. Like it was just very much lives that didn't really need to be thrown away in the game that they played, but still more on the positive side. Awkwarded. We saw from OG in game 2. BZM was pushing for it so hard.
I mean, I'm happy to see this hero return. I've seen it a lot in pubs, at least kind of casually picked up. It's not being like forced too heavily, but in the right hands, in the right game, it can just devastate games. So excited to see the future of Arc Warden. Not excited to see the future of D1 Hustlers draft though, because if they do what they did against Gaming Gladiators today, then they are most likely going to be losing this series. But they are pretty good at their drafting stuff. I think they just had a pretty off day 2 days ago.
Yeah, maybe a mix of both, because we saw that last pick Husker come out, Kezu, and I remember you being like, look, it's okay to do that, but you have to keep the aggression going. Like, you can't ever give this Ember Spirit any amount of a way back in. And unfortunately, like, after that Husker did well in lane, Quinn was able to just rotate, be with his team, and found his way back into the game for himself.
Yeah, like if we're playing any of these dire core heroes, Faceless Void or Ember, we should die 0 times. Like if me or T play in any of their shoes, I mean, we're not gonna play as well as Quinn or Doratio, but we're gonna just get farm on the whole game, because what can D1 Hustlers draft really do throughout the game? And I do think this can happen to teams. You know, it happens to you, you get last pick Husker, and you're like, okay, if we get to pick Husker into Ember, it's just an auto win. But, you know, Dota is a little more complicated than just having some cheeky last pick and thinking your whole draft is complete. So I agree with T. I think they had an off day, because I actually like D1 Hustlers quite a bit. I think their players are doing well. Most of their drafts are pretty good, but I like it more when they can be the aggressors and when they have playmaking style. Like when Shad plays this Faceless Void, even in games where they're losing, I feel like he does very well. And same with Atlantic, when he plays aggressive heroes and these guys can kind of dictate the game a little bit. In my opinion, that's when they look the strongest.
Yep. The offlane is the ones to kind of really note T here. Meepo and Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it was a bit of a wild one. And I think if you want to quickly touch on the Anti-Mage one, again, it was a reaction style pick. And then for gaming, it was this idea that we really want to play Meepo from like the second pick. I remember in the interview, they were like, we are going to draft to get this Meepo. So the reason why gaming maybe look a little bit, you know, discombobulated in that game was because they picked slightly different in the second phase. They did force the Meepo for their own enjoyment, and they did claim the win in the end.
Yeah, you get to enjoy the hero you're playing, have a bit of fun, and also pick up a win. With that said, a leaderboard does shape up. You've already mentioned it. Tundra gone undefeated, 7 series wins for themselves, locked in first place. Gaming Gladiators 5-2, also locked in at second. Liquid and Quest, though, they're going to have a best of 3 tiebreaker to find out who gets third and who gets fourth. But they both are also going to Bali Major along with the other 2 teams. Hustlers in a bit of a questionable position along with OG and Entity right now. The fate of those 3 teams are up in the air, and the other fate that we do know for sure, Kezu, is Secret will be going down to Div 2.
Yeah, that's I mean, luckily for them, I guess it's like the kind of the end of the season, so it doesn't matter as much as with other ones, because you still get to play your TI qualifiers, and then, well, what happens after this entire season's over next year? Like, let's not think about that.
It's a whole new format, Kezu. Like, imagine, you know, top 8 stay, you know, top 10 stay. There's no elimination. Imagine that. That could just be a curveball change up. Probably not going to happen.
That's true.
That'd be cool.
If you're a secret fan.
TI much more important and going to be coming first. But like I said, it's our bonus Sunday. We do still have that very final last series for us. It's OG up against Hustlers. And whoever wins this gets to stay in Div 1. So between OG and Hustlers, who have had inconsistent showings, this is their way, their series, to make sure that they're not playing tiebreakers. They're not going to go back down to Div 2 or down to Div 2 for the first time. And it could be interesting. We could even have an Entity OG tiebreaker for 1 slot in Div 1.
Yeah, I think just from gut feel, I'm leaning slightly OG in this series, but I'm talking like very marginal, like 55-45, 60-40 kind of swing.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's nothing crazy, but I have a slight, I think overall, I think the 5 players, you know, maybe the cores, let's say this, the cores and OG have had a better showing, I think, the top 3, than the average showing of the 3 cores on D1 Hustlers. And that volatility, when you're talking about like the clutch final best of 3, it does kind of allow me to favor OG a little bit more.
Who would you say is the real standout? This 2 are alone. Kezu, like trying to ignore every other performance we've seen from the OG roster, like who's really standing out?
From OG, I would say generally speaking, for me, it would have to be Uragi or Chu. I think they've been the most consistent. I feel like I used to say BZM, but he's been a bit more like up in the air, I think. Same with DM. Sometimes I feel like he's set up for a great game, then he does okay, but I feel like he never like really takes over the game. Or not on average. So Uragi and Chu, I think for me, they've been holding their game steady. You know, they've been trying their hardest to like make it work, go to fights, go 10-0 on Monkey King, have a good laning stage. And some other times, you know, your team's just kind of feeding, and then it gets hard.
Well, I'll ask T the exact same question, except D1 Hustlers, the team that will be coming up against OG.
Ooh, okay, I'm trying to think now. All right, so stand-up players. I think it's still...
you're like, oh my god, they always do well. How are they drafting this hero for them?
This is crazy. No, I think it's kind of like a 1-2 punch, I believe, between Atlantic and Shad. In my opinion, I think Atlantic in the games where he can pop off, I think even in games that they've lost, he's been a double-digit kill and assist Void Spirit. They lose the game, right? And then you have Shad in those games as well. He's always like kind of farming behind. But I think, if anything, D1 Hustlers, they're less about showboaty players where one person always shines, and it's more kind of everyone having to do stuff together, right? Like the Vailama, he buys the auras. Hakoda, he's always doing his job. I think they all do their job well. They just don't have like the star player in the squad. It's just like they have individual games where they might do a little bit better.
Okay. I mean, we've seen 6 series from them so far, Kazu. How would you describe their playstyle now? Like, do you think that they subscribe to something that's a little bit more predictable, or are you saying there's a lot in their repertoire? There are quite a few different playstyles that they've been able to pull off and pull out.
I would say they're somewhat predictable. I don't think the hero pool is the biggest, and the problem for them is when they did reach out of their hero pool, I think you could see that they were very uncomfortable. So they should stick to the hero pool that they do have, where, Shad is probably going to be your win condition. Advantic is mid. You can try to play around him with his Timber, Void Spirit, maybe throw some Kunkka in there. Davalama, as T said, he's going to be your team fight initiator, maybe by auras. And now you put supports in this draft that help your side lanes. Then they can play with Advantic. But most importantly for them, I need them to have a draft where eventually they can go together and it makes sense. Because in the last series they played, in both games, I don't think they really had that within their draft.
Well, let's see how they are going to draft this time around. We have it up on our screens. OG getting rid of that Timber Sword. That is a very consistent ban against Hustlers, isn't it, T?
No, it is. And also, D1 Hustlers are playing in other third-party tournaments right now. And when they're off for the Timber Sword in first phase, they're not even picking it up. So it really kind of boils down to teams respecting the potential of it. And D1 Hustlers aren't even like rushing towards it. So it's exciting to see. But I feel like it's one of those heroes that if they were to get their hands on it, it would simplify their draft from first pick, from second pick, just because of that flexibility between Atlantic and the Vailama. So I can see why, especially in an important best of 3, this is like probably in the top 5 like skill heroes that they can whip out.
And then the other bans, whilst in the general meta might not be typical, very typical to ban against OG, because we've got DMs, Veno, and then obviously that Pugna that they lack being able to put in support just to boost any sort of carry up.
Yeah, I mean, the Pugna on the first 2 with the Storm has been a very good opening. Then the Veno, I think both teams have good bans. As D1 Hustlers, they do go with the Void Spirit first pick, which I'm totally okay with. They have shown the flex before as well. Shad had a pretty good game on the Void Spirit as well. I don't recall if they won that game, but both him and Atlantic can play the hero pretty well. OG have an option to go something like a Techies +1 opening, which I'll be fairly surprised if that tier doesn't get picked up, as Techies doesn't really make you through the first 2 pick stages ever. Oh, hold.
Hold. Yeah, I'm holding too. Hold tight.
I'm waiting. Techies.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean,
D1 Hustlers, it's time.
I mean, okay, don't forget that the big heroes in first series right now, it's like the 4 that are banned, maybe minus the Venomaster a little bit, and then it's Dusa, Batrider, Void Spirit, Bloodseeker. They're kind of like the big heroes, right? So we're already seeing them kind of enter this first game. And for OG, they haven't flexed this Medusa anywhere. D1 Hustlers before did show that they liked to try and do anti-mage offlane against it, and there it is. They're going to try it again. I will give credit to Devai Lama. Since his loss, where he went Crimson Guard anti-mage, he did go to his pub recently and did the new build, or not the new build, but like the Amar style build, where it's Diffusal Blade, Manta. Yeah, I mean, sure. New for him, at least. There we go.
Yeah, I get it.
But he did do the Amar build, and he won that pub against Adusa. So I feel like he's calibrated his offlane AM from what I think was very poor to now why it's picked. And hopefully we get to see kind of Device Llama's development from that. But that's it if it goes offlane.
I do hope, because it is a good offlane matchup into Medusa. We've talked about it many times. I think for D1 Hustler, something you need to think about this time around as well is potentially banning the Shadow Demon. You are not the team that picks out of phase. Otherwise, that hero is also pretty cool against Bad and Dusa. That was one of the other heroes I thought maybe you want to pick it, but I don't know which team it was that played against them. I think it was Gaming Gladiators. They just
Same opening, by the way, yep.
Yeah, then you lane SD into anti-mage. It doesn't matter. If it's offlane AM, your SD can go safe lane. If it's carry AM, you go offlane SD. You can always stack. You just disrupt the guy, and now he mana burns himself or like his support. He's basically forced to blink out, and that is very toxic to play against. And as T said, I think they've talked about that loss. They've talked about that game. He's played it in pubs, and now it's time to get the right bans and then just have a good game.
Yeah, very good ban. Happy they banned the Shadow Demon, like Kezu mentioned. But so far, maybe excluding bans, this is identical pick order from D1 Hustlers' second game against Gaming Gladiators. Of course, they now can't replicate it because SD's now banned out, but they are running the same line. And for OG, at least, what they can look to utilize, or at least if they looked at that gaming lineup, it's the fact that they are the aggressors. And if D1 Hustlers draft the same kind of weak support duo, it does give OG this ability to kind of break the map a little bit early, because sure, there's an anti-mage offlane against your Medusa, but unless he's always chasing the Medusa and threatening her comfort of farm, they are going to be rather static in nature. So that's where OG can draft to be a little bit more explosive into the game.
Well, you're talking about Hustlers support duo when they ran the similar opening against Gaiman was weak, T?
Yeah, it was Silencer and Mirana they ran with this exact...
What about it was weak?
I mean, they don't really do any damage. They can sweep across the map in regards to Mirana, but they're more laning-esque heroes, and then they're kind of stationary. Like Mirana, Moonlight Shadow to enable others. She wants to arrow on others, but with the draft that D1 Hustlers had, this was the tricore. Faceless Void, Anti-Mage, Void Spirit. Only Void Spirit can make plays, so the whole construct of that D1 Hustlers lineup was very janky. They didn't really have purpose, and that's why the support duo feels really bad. Like, these supports in other lineups, they can thrive, they can excel, they can be super active, but the way that D1 Hustlers draft, it can cause some issues. So that's why I'm kind of being wary, because OG will close the phase with whatever they see from D1.
Yeah, D1 Hustler should definitely want to have aggressive supports, and I think similarly for OG, if you want to play this Medusa in the safe lane against anti-mage, which you need to heavily assume can be an offlaner, I think something that's very important is to have a support or a lane that makes like the first 1.5, 2 to 2.5 minutes of anti-mage like really hard to play into. Like, I'm talking aggressive supports, like some very big lane dominators, whether it be some Lich or maybe Undying. Of course, you can't have the SD like Enchantress, like something like that. I don't know if you can find ones that can do this, and they're also good for the game. But any of these that like help your Medusa really own the anti-mage in like the first few waves, it can really change everything. Because if AM can ever play aggressively on your Medusa, he's gonna kick you out of lane. And when he gets Vanguard, you're gonna stay out of the lane forever. So you need to delay this timing, because this lane, it can be won by Medusa. It's just very much up to the two supports of both the cores.
Yeah. OG just need to be careful, because when they enter this next phase, if they pick up a support that is potentially punishable, then D1 Hustlers can find that for... Okay, they go bound... Oh, yes!
Oh, it's
okay, bro, okay.
Hold.
Against Gaming, I was so excited for the bounty pick, I really wanted it. But for OG, boom, equally as excited. Because if D1 pick the weak supports now, you put the bounty in the offlane role. DM played it like once in his pub. He's done it. He knows what to do. Like, it's super aggressive.
I remember you calling for it so much, and then you were like, Mifu kind of does the same when like Ace pulled that one out.
No, I did after Ace, though. Sorry, go on, Kezu.
Yeah, I do think that for now, the bounty is very likely a support. So I'm gonna drop the copium a little bit, but as the draft progresses,
there we go.
We can touch on it again.
Yeah.
I'll be very happy about that.
I'll take note. We'll come back around. We'll circle it, okay?
Yeah, realistically,
what were we going to say to you?
Realistically, I think if you can put the bounty 5 in this position, and then Tiger's playing the 4 Batrider, you can get that bully the anti-mage threat in, because the Bounty can just shadow at the bottom.
Don't pick Silencer.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm like, uh-oh.
If they pick
Do you think
Silencer,
Silencer would have been the one that you would have changed, Kazu, out of the two? Or would you have changed both?
Probably change both, but I think Mirana with something else can work. But I think Mirana Silencer is very awkward. Also into bad bounty. Like, think about how bad bounty are going to play the map. It's going to be like very chaotic, like one hero here, two heroes there. Global is not really good against that. Silencer is a slower-ish hero. So I think Potom can work. Yeah, I mean, I'm more happy with this than the Silencer Mirana, that's for sure.
the Barra gives a counter to the Bounty Hunter. It provides, if once they get the Void Spirit online, it's you see hero and Void Spirit plus Mirana will kind of walk together and then poke the hero. And then if Anti-Mage is like chasing the Deucer around, if things get a bit dicey, again, Spirit Breaker can then join to relieve that pressure. Sorry, and Anti-Mage can then disengage. But it still is arguably a lot of low damage heroes on D1 Hustlers that need to kind of scale into the game. But if it's bounty support, they are going to easily be able to tri-lane, basically. That's what I was trying to say earlier, and kind of bully this anti-mage out. And I'm still going to say I wouldn't mind saying it offlane. But anyways, ban times.
Okay.
Just one last time, guys. Bounty Hunter offlane.
It's coming. Don't worry, guys.
Oh, God. Do you think Chu's going to play the bounty? That's the thing, though. He's played, what,
I
4,
think so.
6, 8, 9 heroes so far in this DPC, 14 games.
Just keep racking them up.
I kind of like what Chu is doing. Like, when this guy has heroes that can have more priority or like do more. Like, when I think of him, I think of like Techies, Phoenix, ET. I feel like this guy is like he's a silent pop-off player. You know, he sits in the back with these heroes, suddenly gets some really good spell usage. But to touch on the TA, I think when you look at these D1 Hustlers heroes, the pick is very strong. It lanes well into Void Spirit. Minus armor is super annoying for anti-mage as well. Having refraction, I would say you're not the easiest hero to be ganked by SB because there's a Void Spirit. Maybe if that was a different matchup, and the traps I think as well are very annoying. I think other teams maybe like I think Liquid would pick Lone Druid here on this spot, and it's just like you kind of feel like the game's over.
Yeah.
But TA is a little bit similar and also very strong.
Yeah, I'd argue for OG, they aren't going to be able to replicate the speed in which Gaming Gladiators played this style of lineup against D1 Hustlers because they don't have the Pangolier, they don't have that. Of course, there's the Meepo that kind of took over the enemy jungle and occupied it a bit, but they don't have that in this draft. It feels very much like a push out the lanes. When TA gets, let's say, like Blink Deso, you then look to take the fight. If they dive under your tower, maybe this final pick on OG would connect it, but they are kind of lacking the glue to their lineup to protect the farm. It's just a lot of creep hitting heroes. So I would actually give D1 Hustlers the edge in regards to when they can dictate the game just on the voice rate rotations. But the when OG group up, then I would argue scarier because they're very tanky with the bounty plus the TA, Medusa, etc. So this final pick for OG is, I think, very important for them.
Okay. So if you're Hustlers, you have SB Mirana support duo. So if you I guess SB can kind of be your 4 maybe as well if it's a bounty 5. But you need to be because most likely they're gonna pick a carry out of phase. Yeah. Unless they want to have a new mid matchup against a TA and put the Void Spirit into carry. But
so you would rather have the Void Spirit move to carry and the AM stay off lane than the AM move to a carry and bring up a different offlaner, Kazu?
Probably so.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
I think one option they have is picking like Monkey King, and then you put it mid against TA. Like, sure, it's not it doesn't like super crush. Okay, sure, they go Naga. All right, they keep the Void Spirit mid. I was thinking like maybe they could put some carry style hero on the mid lane, put some just casual Void Spirit side lane, but no, instead they go for Naga Siren. It's going to be able to threaten the TA. Does it really deal?
What do you mean by threaten?
Because like TA wants to look to take fights with Blink Deso, and by the time that you have that, Naga should have Manta Orchid. So there's a lot of opportunities where TA is trying to do things for the Deucer to make space, and then it's like, oh, I blinked in poorly because like this whole hero, your blink is your entire game. If you fail blink one time, Naga will punish you. There'll be a song, an Orchid there, and it's there, and you die.
There's a Magnus in the pool, which I feel like would be a pretty cool pick. I'm looking for offlaners that do well against Naga in the lane or in the game. They've done Necro before, which I feel like makes their draft maybe it can work, but a little awkward. think Mag is good. I don't know if I... Oh, this one is cool too. I'm down for this one. Should be the DM Shaker, I think. Never mind.
No.
It's a 4 Shaker with 3 bats.
Does that change your viewpoint on the OG lineup? Do you think the offlane is stronger or weaker now, Kazu?
Maybe slightly less aggression, because I think Bat is a bit more about farming. Like, he's just going to get his Firefly, his Vanguard, and then farm it up. I think maybe they value the map play a bit more to get him online and play the Shaker as a 4.
All I'm going to say is if D1 Hustlers can survive the TA Medusa pairing timing of like 20-25 minutes, their draft is so obnoxious. Naga Siren skipping waves, Spirit Breaker skipping waves, Moonlight Shadow, Anti-Mage blinking around, Void Spirit, Astral stepping around. Like, if OG don't have a grasp on this game and in a minute they like lose a second Roshan, for example, or lose kind of understanding of what they want to do on the wider map, D1 Hustlers can just death by 1,000 cuts with this starter lineup. But it's a lot of farming for them to get there. So, but if they do, it's going to be so much fun to watch them slowly just whittle down OG. Oh my god.
Okay, so there's like a little bit of a time limit per se on OG's draft. It's not necessarily super early, but Kezu, do you think that there's been holes fixed in some of Hustler's drafting issues that we had 2 days ago? Were you pretty confident in what they've brought to the table in this game one?
I think they leveled up their draft quite a bit. I would actually prefer to play their draft unless I misunderstand this Medusa matchup a little bit. Like maybe there's some Mjolnir stuff you do later. But overall, I think OG need to have very good lanes in order to stay in this game.
Okay, a lot of lane pressure, a lot of aggression pressure. We'll see if OG or Hustlers are going to come out on top of game one as we get into it with Lyrical and Trent.
Thank you so much, Nat and Trent. I'm excited for this one. It is going to be a bloody day of battles for these teams that are trying to avoid having to drop down against the tiebreaker matchup against Entity. And you know, when T was like, "It's gonna feel so good to see them get picked apart," I was like, "This guy's a psychopath."
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. He's
like, oh, if he gets to whittle them down into little pieces like he's sitting on the porch with a stick. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I don't know.
Chop them up. I'm gonna chop them up and put them in a trash can. That's weird, man.
That's all I heard, man. Like the Garburator, you know? He's gonna throw in one of those things.
The Garburator?
Yeah, I've never had one of those.
The garbage disposal?
Yeah, in a sink we call it Garburator here. But I don't actually know anyone that has them, but apparently that's something Canadians do.
Garburator?
Yeah.
It's a Garburator. I
know, right?
That sounds like a brand. I think that we're giving too much publicity here for that. But regardless, Trent, despite the Garburator
it's
action
not,
that's going to happen.
That's the thing.
It's not?
No.
What?
Yeah, it's a garbage disposal unit.
Okay.
Also known as a waste disposal unit, garbage disposer, or Garburator.
Jeez.
Get garbered.
That's crazy. Apparently. I'm messed up. I thought you were saying like Gerber or something too.
The Urban Dictionary says it is generally considered socially awkward behavior to use this term and should be avoided at all costs. That's a dank description. Shout out to whoever wrote that.
Oh, that is sick. I love it. I actually just typed that up right now. That's why I was a little bit slow.
Yeah, I was a little busy there.
I had to get that one done. All right, well, we're taking a look at this game in spite of Garburation, and it looks like it's just going to be a trade-off of 2 runes apiece. Should be able to bully back Deliacor. Yeah, can't do anything. Did make him scale up that flame break, though. How sad for DM. I actually don't think it matters that much. We'll see. Trent, what do you think about the drafts? Do you agree with the panel about the sort of weird timings that both of these teams are going to have and OG needing to come out of the lanes on top?
Yeah, 100%. I definitely would much rather have the Hustlers draft. I feel like it just seems more likely to succeed. I think Taiga is going to have to really pop off a bit here. I think that when the coin flip comes up for the Tormentor, he's going to be like crossing his fingers, like, please, God, pick me. I think Shaker as the 4 can work when you get that roll, but when you don't, it just feels so much worse.
That's fair. I will say that just on like a player comfort level, or like play style wise, I like the idea of Taiga playing on a hero like Earthshaker. You know, this guy always, you think back to like the Enigma in his heyday when he was really making the most on it, and just winning his team's game solo carrying. It felt like Earthshaker feels like it fits that archetype. And Chu, will manage to get away. A little bit of a blood grenade game thrown out there as Xantic is brought down low also. A lot of low HP heroes to start this one.
Yeah, the bounty support is just gross because of that. He has 8 armor right now. Like, what is that? This guy has 2 sticks, a blood grenade, orb of venom, 8 armor. Like, how is this fair? So abusing that with the help of the tower to barely survive as well. And of course, we all love just watching someone steal gold here too. At Xantic has to be a bit cautious. Bit of a spicy matchup mid.
Man, he is right on the edge right now. And man, apparently BZM heard everybody talking mess against him because he is 8-5 right now. 5 denies is pretty freaking good out of the mid lane. Core pulling the wave. Can't do that much more though.
I heard the panel talking about this matchup of the offlane anti-mage as well. So yeah, definitely looking to see some improvements here and see how much better it goes. Gets with a blink here with the mana burn, and Yuragi loses all of his mana with just 4 swipes.
Now,
but look at the comeback
blink
damage.
In for that, and that is going to cost him maybe. No, he gets the blink away. So able to burn the mana, also brings himself very low though.
Yeah, that was a bit risque. And he doesn't have regen, and neither does Spirit Breaker. So the courier is coming out, Tango Salve and Salve. Important couriers versus a bounty hunter that already has Shadow Walk.
Yeah,
Gamers beware.
Be careful. I mean, he's staying pretty close to the tower right now, you can see. Wanting to make sure they don't lose these ones. So yeah, Divine Llama should be able to get that regen brought out to him. And already trying to queue up that Vanguard. So we'll keep our eyes on this, how that one unfolds. So far, Naga Siren up on the top side hasn't been hurt really at all.
No, she's just chilling. They get the push out there. I'm not sure who got the Lotus up top. Oh, looks like back grabbed it. Okay, nicely done. So OG grabbed the top Lotus. The bottom one was snuck out there by Theolacor. I think these Lotuses in the side lanes are so important. I mean, I guess we all know that, but I feel like I'm trying to make a point of keeping an eye on it at 3 minutes because it really does feel like something that can shift these lanes.
Yeah. As the charge comes through and gonna jump now onto Yuragi. Imagine if he had a Lotus right there. Well, it might not matter. Divine Llama in trouble. Stick charge is still at the ready. A bash comes out from Theolacor to keep him at bay. So Divine Llama still understanding the limitations of his hero and pops the salve right in the face of Chu.
And that was the pass over Lotus, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Theolacor handed it to him, and look at that damage.
Yuragi low, dead. First blood, Theolacor takes it. And now, I mean, Divine Llama is dropping somewhat low, but they can't really stand toe-to-toe here. Chu even taking hits from the creeps as he's trying to trade with the AM. Man. All right,
there you go, though.
Working.
I mean, that's the Lotus, right? Like, you pass over to the anti-mage, he barely survives. They get the turn on the kill. It's just that little bit that you need to get an edge in these lanes. Unfortunately, it still means that he needs another salve, and he's losing gold to the bounty hunter, so not the most prosperous anti-mage here. Is up top, Shad finally getting some pressure on him.
And a solo kill, BZM on a Xantic. We saw the melt strike. Didn't think he was going to go down to the side blades, but just gets killed off. So BZM trying to make up for some of these other lanes. The Medusa at least having some issues.
Yeah, he's now going to be coming back at level 4. He'll get 5 off this wave, but still, that's a long time you have to play versus a level 6 TA. And of course, we all have seen this free hit you can get off the deny here. As Taiga gets low, Xantic forced to use a defensive Aether Remnant there as well. Has the sentry down, but he can't even kill the next trap here from BZM, just holding the space.
I mean, there's stuff going on all 3 lanes. A lot is being decided in the next couple of minutes here, and BZM definitely coming out on top of Xantic. Do you think that any of these supports can afford to rotate on the side of D1 Hustlers to help him?
That's a fair question. I mean, Hakoda's playing the 5 Mirana, not typically the best at those rotations. Let's see if a good setup, which maybe you can get, but not particularly, right? And Earthshaker, much more formidable with that, especially with the bat in the off lane. Taiga loves having this space to roam. That's always been very important for him, whether it be the Enigma or the Shaker like this. So getting here to punch and bully a little bit as they get a side blade onto that courier. Ouch.
Divine Llama tries to get away from Chu and sort of seeing that can't really do much there. He's only got 15 and 5 last hits in spite of that earlier kill. And now, who gets it? Oh, Chu able to pick it up in time. Dude, there's always that like fear where you click on it and it like doesn't actually go to you. I don't know what happens with that thing, but I feel like it always happens to me.
Yeah, you need to not mash it. You gotta like click once and you gotta wait a second or whatever. It's not fun.
Difficult for me.
Rune's ganked by supports. Taiga has to pick it up so that Theodore doesn't get it on the Spirit Breaker. Can't hold it for his mid. Oh, blocked off. No charge.
Nice connection, and going to be the kill given over to the Bounty Hunter. And now they're getting set up to bring numbers for this, to come and invade.
7 minutes, baby. Get it.
Are D1 Hustlers going to bring anything to stop this?
No. This is just gone.
Wow.
I mean, he's going to try, but I mean, they have 2 stuns. He's got mangoes on Chu.
Oh my god, they're TPing in. They're bringing the Void Spirit. They have to get this. If they don't manage to, the stun is there, and the Taiga picks up the Wisdom Rune. They're going to lose both supports, but that is both Wisdom Runes picked up.
I mean, honestly, losing 2? I don't know. Is that worth? Forcing the rotation. I mean, Miranda's picking up the slack mid. She gets a little bit of the spare XP. It's not too bad. Getting a double kill for it as well.
Right.
It is a lot of XP, though, obviously. Because it's a total of 560 since it goes to 2 people. I didn't check the XP on the kills, but... Oh, Arrow's missing there mid.
I mean, definitely better than just getting both Wisdom Runes taken, at least for D1 Hustlers. Being able to find those kills important. And I guess we'll have to see if, the levels come in time for the rest of D1 Hustlers, if that ends up being worth it or not. But you definitely feel happy about getting levels on a bounty.
Yeah, you can see Theolokar there having a fun time. Just walking up to Yuragi in the jungle, giving him a bash and a little hit there, but doesn't stop Yuragi from farming. Has the Trez as the Band of Elven Skin and is stacking up the camps themselves. So Medusa is on her way to doing Deuce of things, but checking back in on our Naga Siren, she's found a fight here.
Oh, and Theolokar made the long charge come in. There's the help. Taiga doesn't have another enchant totem for a couple of seconds. They managed to get the refraction off, and now the lasso. Everybody on OG super low. BZM is going to get killed off. The Fissure came back up a second too late. So OG bring numbers to help, but when Hustlers, they were there first.
DM still too tanky, though, even with like multiple heroes nearby. Not easy for them to deal with a Bat Rider with a Vanguard right now. So at least he'll stay up. But yeah, losing BZM does hurt. Obviously, you were looking to play an earlier timing right now for OG. And Templar Assassin, she's one of those heroes that everyone always knows you don't want to lose. She's going to have a bad time.
See that, Trent?
A Tiger's double stack.
Oh.
The Shaker double. That's pretty good. You need that on Shaker, right?
Wow. I like that. I hadn't seen that one before.
Divine Llama is coming up here with this charge. Not an easy kill. Yeah, they back it off. Does have vision, as correctly spotted out there. Unfortunately, it is disappearing here soon.
Right.
So if he comes too late with a sentry, he's going to be very disappointed to find out. But Divine Llama, dust there onto Chu. Easy arrow.
Brings in one DM. And they have a charge on him now, too. Taiga throws out the Fissure. But that's just going to be the extent of it.
And BZM's getting to work on those stacks, though. Put himself top of the net worth board right now. Do they have stacks on the other Ancients? They do, yeah. All right. And this is something that Templar Assassin benefited a lot from through the stacks, or through the patches, right? 5 stacks here from the Earthshaker. Earthshaker's getting more of these stacks than they used to. You can see it, they're scouting out using the arrow there, being like, oh, damn, there's still a lot of creeps, even though I just killed one up there with that arrow.
Ooh.
Theolokar blocked it, but there is a charge. In fact, Taiga might be dead here.
They're bringing DM over.
Oh, Azantic. Yeah, he gets pushed back by BZM, so.
Flame break, connection, Taiga, another Fissure, and Theolokar just going to drop the lasso on him. Nice. So they do manage to get that kill.
Yeah, I envisioned like Arrow coming in, plus then the rotation from Azantic, but instead he gets bullied by BZM, and then you get the fly in from DM, so. Helping out their Shaker here and keeping his ball rolling. These days, you definitely want to try and get towards the Blink Dagger if possible in the Shaker. We had a long time where it felt like Shard was way more viable, because if you went Blink, you basically had to sit on a lane by yourself from like 13 to like 15 or later minutes. Well, more like, 17 minutes, let's be real. So now you can still do that and get a Shard, It feels a lot
What
better
the
to get the
hell's happening?
Tormentor. Yeah, he is up there.
Oh my god, Dakota. I mean, he did a good job blocking out the hard camp and the Ancients, it looks like. He got a block with the Sentry there, but doesn't have given up his life for it. So you talk about this sort of Shaker obviously wanting to get to the Blink Dagger, the importance of it in this game. That sort of segues into the fact that OG needed to come out of the lanes ahead. It's a 2K gold lead. How good is this for them? Is this basically just like what needed to happen for there to be Dota played and not just a stomp?
Yeah, I would say so. Ideally, your TA is even a little bit more ahead, right? Like, I think she's... Oh,
tries to get him. Okay, that's not going to happen. Surely.
that's a lot of damage. There's a Fisher in
Wait.
3. Yeah, I think he's dead.
Tracked.
Oh!
Fisher. So close.
Loaded to the gills.
Wow.
Damn, that did way less damage than I expected.
Dyer's middle
It's almost like he has 45% magic resistance or something right now. Weird.
That's fair. Very strange. Okay, well, BZM took the mid tower, and now 3K gold lead. They're starting to build up a bit of a snowball, it feels like, here on OG,
I
forcing
was
a lot
so
of rotations
confused.
bottom.
I was like doing the math. I was like, how is he surviving? But it's the occult bracelet with the 10% magic resistance. Jeez,
Oh, yeah.
my brain was melting. I was like trying to figure it out by his levels. That'll do it. How about this time, though?
Not so much. Not really. Wow. Just walked out and echoed him. That is a big kill.
When you get echo kills as Shaker, no blink, that's a good feeling. That's how you know you're going to have yourself a good game. And
Gonna have a
again,
tumbler
more
toy.
stacks. Oh, and a tumbler sword? My goodness.
No, he said he didn't even have that.
Oh, I see.
Chilling. So 4K now at 13 minutes. BZM just keeps farming these stacks that have been built up. As up top, the Illucor thought about the ulti there onto Chu, who is kind of lacking mana right now on this bounty.
And they're going to try and start something with the battle mage here.
The Illucor dropping. It's DM that goes down first. And they go for any more. Divine Llama blinked in. 4 seconds is just going to get dropped. So the anti-mage not really doing what they need him to right now. Slow down, not quite going to be able to fully control the Illucor yet, but as he tries to charge away,
He
Taiga
did.
with the fissure, back up, connects, and a double for Chu, both track kills.
Taiga's making this look way too good. You know, it's, I think part of why it's working so well is the fact that they have this offlane anti-mage, funnily enough.
top tower.
Right?
Like you keep seeing Taiga ping him right away the second that he blinks in, because he's just like, all right, focus this guy. Because like they feel forced to fight and battle with this anti-mage that they have. Because like, what else is he gonna do, right? He can't farm right now. There's a Naga Siren on his team. He's supposed to force fights, but they're
Yeah.
never really getting these fights where the Void Spirit's also there and in sync and like battling together. So his anti-mage is just being left out on an island, and Taiga is like, they just have fights that are in their favor. Like, Shaker's not really the best at fighting before Blink, you know? Unless you have, like, Fisher into easy setup, but I think because they're relatively disorganized and kind of weak right now on the side of Hustlers, Taiga's really taking a big advantage of it. He's also a little more farmed than you might expect just because of the stacks. Again, like, it definitely adds up with how much his teammates are clearing them.
Well, clearing those out and building up the Earthshaker to be a very strong hero feels like the correct way to play this one. As DM tried to turn it, get some damage on the Deal Core, might actually burn down from that, but not going to be able to in time.
Under attack.
Yeah, that kill right there feels pretty nice on the Bat Rider, but it also speaks to what like has to happen for D1 Hustlers to stay in this. And I think it's a shocking statement that you say that anti-mage offlane has difficulty fighting. I can't believe it.
What can I say? You know, it's times have changed
Very
in the
tough.
past week and a half, it would seem. I mean, you know, you pick it for the Medusa. He has not seen the Medusa in several minutes. We've seen Medusa. They have not. She's just been farming through the camps. She's doing quite
Right.
well. She's not the same level as the Naga Siren, but you wouldn't really expect her to be at this point. But she has the Manta. She's ready to go and fight. They committed 4 heroes to kill a bounty hunt, or sorry, to kill a Bat Rider, and meanwhile, they're just gaining a gold lead on the side of OG. They're going to be ready to head to that Roche soon, get the Tormentor, and really, like, the butterfly timing is just when they just put the foot on the gas and go.
Yeah. Well, and you talked about the sort of stacks. I think that's something we could look at is like how many stacks have actually been done in this game, the amount of gold that's given Taiga and XP as Chu is going to get brought down. Again, the combination feels very strong when they can link together that Void Spirit, Spirit Breaker, or the AM. But it's kind of been like pick off central after these towers have gone down. We'll see if D1 Hustlers try and keep this gank train moving.
Yeah, Xantic really needs to flex with this Echo Saber. That's very hard to do because he's, you know, if you get in a bit too deep, there's Lasso, there's Fisher. It just takes a moment. And plus, you're being tracked the whole time. And they don't really have a way to deal with this track at all. I mean, obviously, the Naga Siren can dispel, but everybody else is just going to be stuck with it.
And he is going that Crimson Guard build they're talking about. You know, it's going to be interesting to watch. Chu starting to rotate top now to join up with the rest of his team. DM with that Octarine Core already done. Who are they going to run into? Crack, the Elio Core finds him. Earthshaker, Blink Dagger, it's being flown out right now. This would be a huge window for them, taking this fight right as it's delivered. Arrow goes out, connects now onto the bounty. Not a ton of vision in this area for the D1 Hustlers. Devi found. Fissure, Lasso, connection. And that is a kill. Devi Llama goes down.
Man, he's already pretty poor. The bounty is going to surpass him soon. Chu is so rich.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. Oh my god, they're looking for more. The Fissure, it connects. The stun. Hakoda tries to back away. Taiga walks into vision for a moment. They might realize he has that blink up now, but thankfully for D1 Hustlers, they're cutting these waves with Naga Illusions.
I know. Shad's going to have to try and set up some nutty plays when he eventually gets involved in this game. He's done a great job clutching things out on the Faceless Void. Kind of a similar situation. Obviously, a little bit easier on Void to set up for the big team fights as a carry player, but Naga, you can get the same thing going if you get a really clutch song, be it as an initiation or as a bit of a break up there. So like combo break what your opponents are doing. And it is a lot of combo plays we're looking for. Like maybe the Echo comes out and then the song's there. That could be something for them as they're going to find Theodolor again.
He walked right over that ward. They were smoked and revealed himself and just immediately dead. So these track kills building up more of that lead before Naga comes online. It does sort of speak to, okay, are they going to have like the sort of ability to deal with this Medusa when the butterfly's here? And it's getting close. And now just right into Roche. They got Deso on TA. Why not?
Yeah, this is just going by the formula, right? They take the Roche, they'll have the Aegis, they'll get the Tormentor, they'll push the tier 2s. They could even poke and prod the tier 3s a little bit, but they really don't need to. There is a wave coming mid. I would like to see this saved here from DM. There's really no reason to give this up. Like, you're in such control. Like, I don't even like giving away a tier 1 for free, but he's going to be too late, so. Good play there by the Hustlers to at least get something. But they're in trouble.
Well, I have found the solution, Trent, and so too have D1 Hustlers. Double Philly Stone, baby. Let's go. They got so much GPM.
It's a whole new world.
Only solution.
They got Heart. They got Crimson Guard. They got Heart of Taras. They don't have the Heart of Roche, though. That's with BZM right now.
And also, it's like so sad. Crimson Guard with like 50 strength.
Yeah, it's all those offlaners flexing, you know. Oh, buy a Crimson Guard. It's like, we have Crimson Guard at home. It's just this guy. Yeah.
He's got 1.6 strength gain on AM. It's so garbage.
This guy needs a protein shake, you know?
Exactly. Oh, there it is. The pupil's gift. That just helped him.
That's pretty sick, actually. That's nice. Yeah, that's huge. Those are gains.
Oh, jeez. All right, 20-minute mark. And tier 1 tower is still the only thing taken both top and mid. As OG, Chu is going to go scout. Might find a little tasty treat. Oh, no. Hakoda runs into him.
Oh, my God. Dude, he almost zagged right back into it.
But Shad. Ooh.
They want to force a song here.
Echo dropped. Lasso on the illusion. No, DM, that's not what you're supposed to do.
What?
Oh, a little bit of a bait there. Helio Core turned upon. Going to try and
Oh, the
charge out
silence.
of it. Silence on the Shad, and now the Enchant Totem, still no song used. They're waiting this one out. Try and turn it. Taiga guns up falling. Now DM also going to go down, but Yuragi living through it. Already used the Mana Void. Yuragi Chu, chase forward. It's Xantic. Drops low. Silence dead. Helio Core turned upon for another round after the buyback. They have to back away, but I don't know if they can really do that much. This shard getting so much value for the TA. Shad turns now onto the bounty, and Chu, he stepped too far. Ends up dying. Charge on, oh, misclick. Probably meant to go on the TA there.
Oh man, the shard is just so sick. Honestly, the best thing that happened to TA was taking the shard away from Roche, because now they just buy it earlier, and they're like, oh, this is actually really broken. Maybe I should have been buying this myself anyway, not waiting for second Roche.
Yeah,
Like,
fair
they're
enough.
basically just doubling down on the fact they have weak Dispels right now, right? Like, this Anti-Mage, Dispel, it's going to be a while. He's got a Crimson Guard first. He doesn't have a Manta. Anybody else? I mean, the Lotus pickup from the Mirana is massive. They desperately need that. Because even the Void Spirit, right? Trying to get in there, like, he is by a Halberd. He's
Yeah.
trying to protect them from the Medusa. They're in Strug City versus this Silence.
And it's not feeling like the answers are coming quick enough. Although that Halberd done, like you talked about on the Void Spirit, it's going to be helpful. AM working on his too. That is one of the big answers. But they needed it against both TA and Medusa. And this Aegis in hand, well, even when you lasso yourself, it's still going to be enough to get the kill.
Hides from the unworthy.
And the rest of the team just runs away. I wonder, like, Shad gets into Scotty. What then? Like, can they fight then? I guess so. If he is Scotty and Xantic gets a decent jump into the fight, we get rolling halberds on the TA or the Medusa.
Right.
There's still so much to contend with, though, because I'm looking at, like, Stone Gaze playing in these fights, and then I'm thinking about these TA traps still going to be a big issue for a lot of these people, all while there's a lurking Earthshaker being gifted vision from a bounty hunter. Everything just stacks up so nicely for OG at the moment.
And I don't really know what Divai Lama does in these fights, you know? Like, he's bringing to the table Crimson Guard on one of the heroes that's, like, literally one of the worst items that you can get. One of the worst iterations of Crimson Guard you can get. There's very few heroes that have lower strength gain than that. But it is a Crimson Guard. You know, it's going to block some damage. Jump forward, blows up Hakoda.
Seemed excessive.
No answer.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Really wanted that kill.
Oh, yeah. Really wants to stay in Div 1. I got bringing him down there. And after the Tier 2 tower taken, trying to close out this map.
Nullifier, the next consideration as well for Yuragi. Just keeping it rolling.
Yeah.
And try and reduce a lot of these defensive choices. You know, talk about that Crimson Guard. See you later.
Bro.
Don't have to worry about that.
Well, and for the side of T1 Hustlers, it feels like they need some sick charges. They need really good arrows. And they will find Chu here, but track run away.
So fast.
Very swift, and Taiga there for the cover. Oh, they wanted to get a pick off there real bad.
They're going to try and get a third halberd on Theolacor. You know, I mean, it is TA
yeah.
and Medusa. I mean, honestly, yes. Like, what else is he going to buy? He's not going to Shadow Blade this game. That's not going to happen. So, it's kind of the only solid one they have. Hakoda trying to get towards a gem, because the vision game has certainly been a problem between the TA traps and just some solid warding coming out thanks to the invisible movements of Chu.
Yeah.
Times have been a bit tough for them.
I mean, I think that the D1 Hustlers lineup definitely sort of excels in chaos. And, you know, this Naga Siren can do a lot of damage when left unchecked, and weird things are happening. So if they can make that chaos happen, maybe there's a chance. But OG, they look very well set up to try and close this game out if they can just keep their wits about it.
I wish they had just done the Tormentor instead of making Taiga buy the shard. I mean, I feel like you at least do the Tormentor first, you know?
Dire's
Fair.
middle tower
Because,
is
like,
under
Maybe.
yeah, I mean, in a sense, sure, you just need Blink and Shard on a Shaker, and you're kind of happy. But Shaker also does benefit from, you know, Arcanes or
Right.
an additional mobility item, maybe like a Force Staff.
Right.
Or his own Lotus Orb could be kind of cool this game. I don't know. Seems
One.
sad.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And now it's Bounty Hunter that gets it. I mean, no matter anyways, but. So, I one other thing I want to mention is I'm looking at this graph right now that we have, and it is just a solid peak straight up for gold and experience. But when you look at win probability, it is staying shockingly equal. It's at 62% right now. This is sort of an interesting phenomenon. It makes me think if OG do mess up one time, that could swing back the other way super hard.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's that low. I mean, I agree the chances are still pretty decent considering for the Hustlers, simply because, like, yeah, they have Animage versus Medusa as they're getting a jump on the Hakoda up top. You can see that one of the problems is they spend a lot at this point just trying to get any kill.
Nice gem pass over. Hakoda gonna die, but pass it to Xantic first.
Yeah, that was sick.
Taiga survives.
Dire's middle tower.
But yeah, they had a hard time forcing anything with the last Aegis. I mean, they got the tier 2, so I guess that's fine. It should be the next one, though, where if they don't lose anything big across the map, where Hustlers, they haven't really been able to make anything happen with the Spirit Breaker, and they're not able to, like, lock anybody down, go for some big blow-up play. If they get that Aegis and approach the high ground, you imagine it's going to be pretty tough for them to be dealt with here. It is going to be 2 minutes, though. It's a longer spawn, as they are lurking near the Dire Ancients.
Gotta be real careful here for OG. It could definitely fall apart in a moment. And is this the moment they want to fight? They have the Scotty done on Shad, but the lasso, they find the vision. The shard from Earthshaker doing so much for that control. It is completely disrupting the fight. BZM blinks aggressively, blows up at Xantic. That's Gem on the ground. They got to get the hell out of here. Taiga hunting. The silence is there. On to Shad. They find him with the fissure. Gonna have the enchant totem afterwards. Misses on the stun, but Shad turned upon. Echo connects. Taiga right on top of that Naga Siren. And death is there. Tavai Lama can't find a target to jump on. Huge win for OG.
He just couldn't get into that one. Poor Xantic dies. The projectile's mid-air as he halberds the TA. It's just a little bit too late there. And obviously, again, yeah, Taiga with the great initiation there into the lasso. No real chance for him to get anything off in that fight. Now the Force is trying to keep the split pushed up here with Tavai Lama. No plays there from the AM.
They just didn't get to do anything walking up that. I mean, look at this replay here. The fissure completely disrupted everything.
It really did. The charge into the lasso, like Spirit Breaker initiation, gone. Their other big disruptor of the Void Spirit eliminated. And then the song is used as he dies, and they even lose their gem. Like, it was just a complete disaster on all fronts.
Man, really, really tough stuff coming out from them. And yeah, for G1 Hustlers, you know, it sort of speaks to the problem. It's just sort of a straight-on fight, and you have to walk through a sort of funneled going to high ground. Even going low ground, they were right into the Stone Gaze too. But Smoke up, they want to make something happen. Stone Gaze is back up, no Echo for 30.
And they even lost their Wisdom Rune there as well. It was scooped up there by OG. As the cheese will also fall to them.
Medusa? All alone? Away from the rest of the team? They gotta get this kill if they want any hope at all. Gone! Dead for 70 seconds. Tavai Lama is the one that's lassoed, but OG, for no reason, Yuragi just in mid. Are they gonna end up losing Roche off of this? The D1 Hustlers
Chu tracks himself.
Looking for more, and yeah, now they're in track hold for themselves if they get this kill. But look at that. The fissure, the turn, the damage, they're all lined up. BZM finds one, doesn't get another. The root, the disarm, long duration on this TA, just can't hit on anybody. But the Echo is there, and the second halberd. She is not doing any damage right now. Xantic gonna get caught. He's the one that's gonna be left behind as they try and chase. Long range hit for the connection, and now Shad, he's the one that's caught out. Did TP away with the song, and now the lasso for the kill. What a wild series of feelings I'm having after that fight. What the hell?
I like the fact that Hustlers just went crazy after they killed Medusa. I think that's your only hope. Like, they know they're in a terrible spot this game. They have to hope there's some more mistakes made. They kind of get it with the Chew track into an additional catch, and then they get DM, but as you chase, you're into the Radiant Tier 2, buyback on DM. Great Fisher there from Taiga. Imagine if he had the blink up when he got that insane Fisher on like 4 of them too. Thankfully, it was on cooldown, but then after he gets that long range cancel versus the Naga Song, not many heroes that can do it. I guess it is only 1200 radius to be fair at this point, but well done there from Taiga. Helps him secure what should have been a free escape from Exantic. Now a BKB there from Chew.
Wow. Big. Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously so tough to know in the midst of the fight like that what the right play is, but I wonder if they could have gotten Roche or something. Probably not with the buybacks that could have come, but regardless, it is going to be OG picking up the Roche. We saw how much damage BZM had done in the course of this game. I think it was like 28,000. It's almost more than the entire team of D1 Hustlers right now. He is just completely taken over this game, enabled by those stacks early. And I mean, they're strong. They're really, really strong.
I mean, Taiga's the second highest damage too. He is crushing on this Earthshaker this game. Very impressive performance on a hero that I think is hard to make shine right now out of the support role. I feel like the cores have been a little bit more popular, at least in terms of like high tier pubs. But I mean, he really picked a good game for it. I feel like it's a hero that can really easily flounder. But again, the inability to really fight from Hustlers because the anime just doesn't slot in, right? Like he's here to fight the Medusa, but in order for them to beat OG, they had to combat them without the Medusa. They were fighting without Medusa for a long time, and so the anime is just a liability.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, that is definitely what it's been feeling like the last couple of minutes is a liability. Some more value now. With that Heaven's Halberd completed, obviously, we see just right now how good that can be against the TA. Does manage to get the blink back, but long duration. The problem is there's 2 heroes that need, and well, I mean, just a paperweight at this point.
All right, what are we doing?
Llama gets destroyed. They buy back. Are they really trying to go for this? The BKB out from Chew, the back away, Echo down, connection, total destruction. As OG are just walking high ground, there is nothing left here at all for D1 Hustlers. Chad chased, caught, going to be dropping soon. The fissure is there. BKBs are out. Taiga tries to back away. Divine Llama, they're right on top of this Medusa, who is disarmed, but there is just no follow-up damage. Taiga even gonna pop the Lotus, backs away. I think that one was passed over by a friend. 30,000 gold lead. They set their sights onto Exantic. That Void Spirit's gone, and this is going to be GG. Game 1. This series going their way.
Yeah, I'm going to have to accuse the old Dota Plus of a bit of fake hype there. A little caster in the AI, it would seem, because I don't know. This one was a long, long road in favor of OG, and they finally slapped it down there in the end, just saying, yeah, that's what I thought. Like, we're going to get this one. Go ahead. Take your early Anti-Mage. Truly, the Medusa was she was the anchor. She does eventually win this game for you. Even with the Anti-Mage being in there, you can see why it's so vulnerable. Like when she walks out by herself and just gets picked off and explodes because of the Anti-Mage. That does make it a lot easier. But it was the other 4 heroes. They play across the map by themselves, and they just outplayed it was like a 4v4, right? We had Medusa and Naga Siren just farming, and then the 4v4, OG absolutely crushed them. Even just straight out of the lanes, like you would expect. Great stacks again from Taiga. I'm definitely looking at him towards my MVP, I gotta say.
Love that. Well, Trent, you're sort of showing your seaside bias there by using anchor as a good term. Normally, you think about something pulling people down, but here it's steady. Keeps you close to the rocks.
That's right.
Trent likes anchors.
Good anchor.
Damn Canadian. All right, let's head on back to the panel now as we get ready for game number 2.
That might be one of the weirdest segues that we've had. But BZM, Kezu, you said he wasn't the standout this tour alone. And he was like, bro, let me show you. Hold on. Wait. And he had a phenomenal performance today. Obviously, a number of factors to it. But he did wonders. And there definitely weren't any, issues with this TA that could have come out from that Naga Siren pick.
Oh, certainly not. He was He was chilling this game. He owned. He, first of all, did super well in the lane, as he should. But he did get a kill, which I wouldn't say is that normal. I really liked his trap placement. Also the fact, I think the more people play TA right now, the more you build this shard, I think people are understanding that it's so damn strong in the game. Like, just having the silences, even in these fights against like some Void Spirit, Anti-Mage, or even like Podum, suddenly you can't blink out or leap out. He did very well. He did way more than just pull his own weight in this game.
Yeah.
I just want to say quickly, look at the net worth right now. It's 21 minutes. Bounty Hunter is about to like take over the Anti-Mage. Like, not only did BZM have a great game, but I think Chu, he kind of popped off like low key on the Bounty Hunter in laning phase, the way that he swept across the map. And BZM, the reason why he has this 11-1-10 score is because of, you know, kind of Chu kind of pushing the team to want to look for that next fight, to want to accelerate the game. And if you look at the net worth now, 6 minutes later in the highlights, look at the Bounty Hunter, look at the Anti-Mage. I think this is kind of the story of the game. And OG, it's not even as if they've got a lot of kills. It's only 16. It's not as if they got like 30 and they're making D1 Hustlers bleed. It's just a very methodical game of farm and fight.
Yeah, that's a really valid point that you do bring up, T, because in previous series, it's felt like OG's a little lost. Like, when do we be aggressive? When do we initiate? Like, what is our lineup really trying to do? And she really brought that out for them. So it was great to see. I think the support duo just in general for OG were phenomenal this game and setting everything up to make it a lot easier for their cause. But very quickly, before we talk about MVPs or other great things that OG did, this anti-mage offlane build, we're going to talk about it again.
I don't want to see it ever. No. Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
Yeah. Because you were hyping it up. You were like, oh, he's brought it out in pubs. It did better on a different build. Like, maybe he's learnt now. And
he hasn't.
Went back for the Crimson Guard.
There's a problem. Like, this hero is good against Medusa, but not if you... So first, if you're gonna buy these items, like, other heroes can do it because they still offer stuff with their spells, right? You're an anti-mage. You only offer something if you have a good mana void. In order to have a good mana void, you need to hit. That's why you go this Diffusal, Vanguard, Manta, like, you slap some noobs in the game. But this, like, there was this one fight, he dealt 0 damage. If you buy Crimson Guard, it's gonna happen that you're gonna deal 0 damage.
I will say...
they need to, shelf that shit. It ain't good.
to kind of cushion it for Divine Llama, I think OG played very aggressive with the TA, so he kind of felt like he had to join fights, but he's an anti-mage. I think he needed to play like a Mar, be greedy, AFK in his lane, and then say, I can join the fight with X item, right? But again, it's really hard when OG's being the aggressors. But then it boils down to so why pick this hero? If you know OG will be aggressive, why force yourself into this trap? I don't want to see it again. I think if D1 Hustlers pick it again, please shelf it for the best of 3. Anyways, back to the MVP.
I was gonna say maybe look at like a bit of a change up about that Medusa instead, rather than what counters you have for her. But back to MVP. I think it's going to be a tough one. Like, BZM obviously had a great game for himself, set up by the supports. Tiger was getting some amazing initiation and stuns as well on Earthshaker. So you're kind of down to 3, but only one can get MVP. And then we can give 2 honorable mentions if you guys want.
That seems pretty easy then. Okay, if I get to choose the MVP, I'll go with I do think Chu did in the early game, but I'll give it to Taiga. And then my honorable mentions are Chu for his laning stage and his early game, and then BZM for his overall game. 92% kill participation, guys.
Yeah.
I could
My man.
roll with that. I mean, I don't know.
Is that what you're going to go, T?
I was probably going to go with... It was between Tiger and Chu, in my opinion. Because I think BZM popped off because of the supports doing so well. So it's one of those cores, it looks easier, right? And I think for Tiger, there's multiple highlights where the whole fight was just, fragmented from Spirit coming in, there's a charge, and now it's like, where's the kind of avenue to actually take the fight? And it was just kind of a slow and steady game for Tiger, just kind of being in the right place, fissuring, and if, in all honesty, I think it's OG.
Being active.
Yeah, OG was active in this game. It's like every player, it feels like you can say something good about them because they were always present, always ready to look for that next kill. Like Mirana, Hakoda, he comes to D-ward, boom, he dies. He comes back a minute later, he gets echo slammed. Like this man is not D-warding his jungle. That's how much OG wanted to be the aggressors in this game.
Yeah, I feel like if we were to look back at OG's games where they've had Tiger or even some of their stand-in supports, it's like, were they being as active as how we saw Tiger in this game and the previous series against Entity? Like, was that sort of the conditions where, hey, we just need the support to initiate a little bit more. We need to draft this certain way. But look, we can go back. We can have a look at what else OG have done in our break, because we are going to head there if we want to head to game number 2.
Mirana?
Claro.
One spirit, I can stun.
One spirit. I'm killing the Para. Yeah, they're done. One spirit going to be here.
One spirit stunned again.
I mean, guys, you might have fucked up.
Nice. Good.
Two seconds, I can cancel TP guys.
Yeah. Keep going. Chase him. I see.
I get him. I'm stuck. Arrow.
I really like this one, this row.
Yellow's dead. Oh no, that's not. Fish again. Chase, yeah.
No lips.
No lips.
Nice.
Damage
Change.
strength.
Keep going for the roll or something.
Welcome back. We've got game 2 between OG and D1 Hustlers. This is our final series of 2 or 3 Western Europe, obviously outside of tiebreakers. And on this special Sunday T, if you're a Hustlers fan, if you want to see them stay in Div 1, because that's what's on the line for these two teams.
Yeah,
whoever wins, is gonna be staying in Div 1. If you're a Hustlers fan, what are you hoping to see? What are you hoping to witness? What's gonna make your Sunday just that little bit sweeter?
Well, first of all, I'm not a Hustlers fan. I want to see them. I'm joking. I think if I was a Hustlers fan, I'd be probably saying draft-wise, ditch the anti-mage, give the Vailama maybe 3 or 4 picks of information before locking in his hero, and then have a lineup that can fight or just do well in lanes, and then maybe take the fight. I think a lot of drafts in teams that are like aspiring tier 1 teams, they need to have a good foundation of laning phase, otherwise they kind of fall flat. So I want to see them have presence in lanes, divide Lama later pick in the draft, then maybe they got a shot.
Okay. Do you think that they let the Medusa through, Kezu, because the other things they banned out are harder to deal with? Like, reminder, they banned out Veno and Pugna and let through that Medusa. Do you feel that either of those two heroes are harder to deal with, or do you think that they just had a lot of faith in their solution to Medusa?
So they had faith in their solution, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But now that you tried it a second time, I think you move on. I think for them also, Dalai Lama, this guy, he feels like he wants to do stuff on the map. When you play anti-mage with Vanguard, you're not supposed to do stuff on the map unless you're already owning. So it kind of contradicts what you want to do. Like if they want to do it again, pick Darkseer on 8. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It fits his playstyle more. Or if you don't want to do that either, you ban the Medusa and then, you know, just play a different game. Because we've played this anti-mage with Void, we've played it with Naga. I think it just makes their drafts very awkward because it changes their drafts very drastically from how they usually play.
I will also add the one time that we saw anti-mage succeed in offlane was when he was with a techies as a laning partner. And like this already inherently should be very aggressive in lanes where the anti-mage shouldn't have to think about a plan B because his lane should go well. It also was against the safe lane Spirit Breaker Dusa combo. So it's a very passive in nature combo. So I think the stars haven't aligned for the draft to make this anti-mage feel good. That wasn't an Enigma reference.
Stars align, baby.
Stars align, you know. Kuroki, he could have got this anti-mage to work, but no, it's drafts, and also I think Quest, they showed how to make it work, and we haven't really seen that correct kind of copycat from Demon yet.
Yeah, 100%. I like that info. Thank you guys so much. I was just having a look at like seeing where techies got either banned, and it was like right in the middle of second phase. So he went completely ignored in that first phase, and then I was like, oh, did he even get banned? But he did. So it is interesting. Well, do you think we're going to see him more first phase priority now? Do you think that this is going to be something that will be able to elevate either team's draft no matter what?
I think whichever team picks it, they should be happy with it, especially Hustlers. Because I agree a lot with T's point. Like even what we saw last time, they keep laning like the strong support with their carry, when in reality, the hero you need to pop off in their last 2 anti-mage drafts is your offlane anti-mage. So I think that's also something that they need to swap kind of their priority. And if you pick better supports, you need to make less good decisions because your lanes are going to be good anyway. What up?
What up? Team, with the support duo on the side of Hustlers, did you like it more? Because when they went this anti-mage offlane, they had the Mirana Silencer. You really didn't like that support duo. Now they went Mirana SB. Do you think there was something that you saw a little bit more in that support duo? Or you're like, okay, maybe the supports also need to be thought about a little bit more?
I would probably lean on the supports need to be thought about a little bit more. I think Kezu just touched on it now as well with the... If they put Morana with the... actually, I don't think either of these supports would have done anything against Bounty Medusa. So I think realistically, if you're doing this Void Spirit into AM opening, honestly, it's very hard to find a 16-17 that feels nice because there's no flexibility in your lineup, right? And I think it's why this draft has been counted 2 times in a row now from different teams. It's because it doesn't hide anything. So again, enough about that. We've got the...
I was going to say, we're going to see the same thing, but Medusa Shadow Demon is going to be the opener there. Is this going to be Slam the AM on there? Surely not.
No, don't. You can pick your... Yeah, sure. I feel like you could pick Darkseer or something else here. Just don't do the anti-mage, I think. Like, you can already play this type of game where you have bats against Medusa, which isn't like the worst matchup in the game. Like, later it's actually pretty good. Being able to pull this hero into you or kind of choose your fights is very nice when you do play against it. But I must say that I love the combo pick of OG with the SD. First of all, SD is pretty nice with Medusa. You get a save against Bad Rider with the Disruption, and then you have the Shard later to kind of just lower the Bad Rider damage by a lot when you just purge your allies with the Shard. So that's great.
Oh, God, and I didn't think I'd be saying this, but it does prevent the anti-mage as well. Because, of course,
it's true. Bad pick, OG. Why'd you do that?
Already, but like, yeah. I like this is kind of what I wanted to see from D1 Hustlers, like in game 1. You know, this kind of simple style of draft. You're not kind of pigeonholing yourself. The bat's now the flex. Your Pangolier is going to be, of course, very good against the Dusa with the Diffusal. Sure, your Shield Crash doesn't feel too good against SD, but finding Shadow Demon also is a very needed concept, and Pango can do that very easily with Rolling Thunder.
Okay, they're banning... Oh, no, it's fine. It's a good ban for the Pango. Sorry, I have a cat on my desk. Might have some noises coming out. But so they're just protecting with the Queen. I think it's pretty good. But overall, for D1 Hustlers, they have... their draft has a better setup, in my opinion, already to be able to like fight in this mid game. You have Pango who can go in, you have the role, you can choose your fights with Bad Rider. These are two heroes that I would say SD can have a lot of trouble playing into Bad, but he has a lot of trouble playing into Pango. So I think D1 Hustlers are already set up more nicely. So I already have more faith for them in this game.
Do you want them to double down, Kezu, on making sure that timing is strong, or how do you go about ensuring that you're even making this mid-fight more feasible for you?
Well, I would say what both these heroes need, they have, I mean, Pango has okay damage, but he needs a little bit more, like in these Rolling Thunders, to kill heroes. Similarly with Bad. Bad is going to drag a guy, and he hopes that when you lasso him, that person's gonna die. So if you're D1 Hustlers, you now need ideally strong laning supports or another core, whichever role your Bat is in, and just follow up damage that your Pangolier and your Bad Rider feel good about actually going into the fight. Because people, when they go in with their spells, they need to die. Otherwise, this D1 Hustlers opening will already not work.
I mean, Becky's isn't banned right now. That could be the answer for D1 Hustlers.
Easy.
Open the next phase with a... Actually, the thing is, OG a second pick, so they'll be able to take the techies if they want it in second phase before D1 Hustlers.
They can open up with it.
Exactly, yeah. But if it is viable, if it's not picked up by OG, potentially for D1 Hustlers, they could again simplify their game, because I think techies wins a lot of games, lanes at least, for free. Sometimes games as well.
Sometimes.
Time to ban out. Now OG is in this position. Do we ban the techies ourselves, or do we ban something else and let it through? Is there another ban that really stands out that you need to protect the Medusa or the Shadow Demon T?
5 seconds.
Well, I would argue, if you're thinking about Divine Llama, potentially some Visage could be a good ban, because I think D1 Hustlers, they can group around some like Barra plus Visage second phase picks, and then sure, you don't have the innate Medusa counter yet, but you can still round out your draft with some like Slark or something on the final phase, and now it's like you got double Diffusal buyers, the Divine Llama Aura buyer who should have a good lane, the aggression of Bat Rider in lane, like everything kind of builds up for the snowball. So potentially Visage, I think, is the one that kind of sits well for me, at least from Devi's hero pool. Or Llama's hero pool. What do you call him? Llama? I guess you call him Llama.
I like Devi, I don't know.
Devi?
I'd do Devi.
Alright, sure, Devi.
I feel like if you shorten someone's name, it's always to the start, right? Like for you, it's T Governor, but I shorten it, it's T.
That's true. Okay.
Governor. Just call him the governor for now.
Governor.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Governor.
Now, would you like T or would you like Governor?
I think Governor does mean to shit or something in Russian.
Oh.
So be careful with that one.
T it is.
You also love
T it is.
Would you like a cup of tea or to shit yourself? Honestly, it's a question I ask every day.
Definitely the latter.
Yeah, true. That's why you drink coffee in the morning and really help.
Yeah, moving forward, we have a Skyrim mage.
Techie's not banned. Techie's not picked up by OG. Skywrath coming out. Does it still feel like an option for Hustlers to get techies, or you're like, let's go a completely different direction now, Kazu?
I'm sure you can still do it. I think here for them, I feel like it's more that they pick towards their players' comfort and like what they want. I feel like if you don't play techies right now, you've definitely done something wrong in the last couple of weeks, but you know, it happens that some players will not or cannot really pick up certain heroes, but they do it, so I think that's good. Faceless Void. It's a very good Faceless Void game, apart from the one fact that, sure, Skyref can be a bit annoying, like with some random silence overall in the game, but time dilation, once again, I know I say it every time, but it's very good already against these heroes once again. You have the option of playing long team fights with Faceless Void. We've seen this hero beat Medusa multiple times because you get to kind of ignore her, choose your fights as well. So I think D1 Hustlers, like their draft, their foundation of it looks so much better than any of like their last 3 or 4 drafts they've had.
Isn't this just like Beastmaster for OG? Like against lane, against both Void and Pango in the game. Like, I think they just want to group up early enough so that they can deal with D1's team fight, because it's like, do we have Chrono? Yes, no. Do we have Rolling Thunder? Yes, no. If those aren't available, they're a little bit more static. They're not smoking constantly to sweep throughout the fights. That's kind of the downside a little bit of the cores that they picked up.
I would say Beast is actually a banger pick. Probably one of the better ones. I know last time it didn't work out because like there was some lich that suddenly he sinister gazes your stuff and it just dies for no reason. but they just decided to take the mid hero. They probably think that they have more offlane options left as opposed to the mid lane ones. Yeah.
I mean, they can. I'm looking at DM's heroes that he's played so far, and like a multiple kind of feel good right now. So the Void Spirit, at least, you've already shown that most likely Bat techies is your support duo, even if it isn't, and Bat's the core. There's not really clean stuns, right? So this Void Spirit should, in theory, be able to dip and dive and dodge throughout these fights and be annoying. And it helps. He's got Skyroth and SD. So if you find a hero, they're always going to be set up from SD into the Remnant. And if Void Spirit finds the hero first, then you're going to have Mystic Flare on top to do the damage. So it's really about OG to kind of emulate game one with their support mindset and do the same in this game. But this time, really push BZM in, because these supports can do a lot with Void Spirit activating. And yeah, there's the Beastmaster ban.
Yeah, definitely good ban.
All right, well, with it off the cards now, Skyrath Mage into Faceless Void. I feel like Skyrath always kind of wants to poke and prod a lot in the laning phase and just be a nuisance and sort of harass you. But with Faceless having that time walk, what do you need from your off laner to make sure that Faceless still isn't getting this free farm, to make sure he can't really stay in lane? Do you just want even more on the burst, or just someone that can really sit there and allow the Skyrath to just be annoying?
I think ideally you have heroes that help you like take this trade or harass the Void as well, so that not, okay, every time he uses Concussor Shot, Faceless Void gets to time walk. Like during this cooldown, you ideally have two heroes that can hit him or an offlaner that can also force it. And I think most importantly, like at minute 5, minute 6, you want an offlaner that will slowly kick this Faceless Void out of lane. Like this is why Beastmaster and so on, why there's some of the best heroes against Void, like Doom, Beastmaster. They just kick you out because they get too strong. So if OG can find this pick, which again, they have some more time to think about, as Hustlers will have to pick first, but that's what they should be aiming for.
Okay.
Do you think the final ban for OG is just some like Magnus? Okay, they just banned Magnus. Right, cool. Right, moving on.
Yeah, good pick, team.
Good times.
Now, Hustlers, laning wise, you want to see a support bat? Yes, no. Simple answer, T.
Yes. I think yes. I still want to see the Vailama play more aggressive here. I don't know how good Visage is realistically now. I still think it's okay for the grouping. Actually, I don't mind it. Just trying to see if there's any other hero that he's played. I think OG clearly has understood the style of Battens. Like, don't forget, after game 1, I mentioned that for D1 Hustlers to do well, I want Dubai Lama to see like at least 4 picks before he picked his hero. Look what's happened. There are 4 OG heroes.
He might be the first pick.
And there are...
Yeah, true. He could be the first pick. He still could be.
The but is, look at the bans from OG. They're just like, all right, let's remove Dubai from the game, right?
I feel like the only other thing that we've seen him play this tour that's still in...
he was the first pick.
Yo, Lion, let's go though. That burst damage.
It's a combo, guys. It's Chrono into Mana Drain on the Medusa to kill her.
It's true.
Yep.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then you just Finger of Death. That's it. Yeah. Just blow up her 400 HP in one shot.
Well, I mean, I'm a little... I don't know how to feel about Lion, because in terms of how this like mid-game kind of goes, I think Bad Lion are very similar. Like they want to go on one target and like kind of burst it, or like in terms of how they play, I feel like this last pick didn't give them too much. But then again, we haven't seen too many Lions. Maybe there's something about the illusions, or they wanted another guy that can go in. Maybe there's something about the Mana Drain against the Medusa. But
I'm a little bit worried about how Lion's going to be in lane against that Skyrath. Like I already talked about how annoying and pokey this hero is against like anyone else, and like a Faceless Void can time walk it off. But Lion has a little bit of a lower HP pool, and I feel like you can get pushed out of lane pretty easily.
Classic last pick over.
It's like, so what you were just describing there, Lion of course suffers as long as he's not against like a strong offlaner that has presence. Because Void, like you mentioned, he time walks stuff off. So the reason why I was laughing is because like OG Exceed this is okay, let's just lock in some Ogre. He can buy Vanguard, he can exist, probably go Midas and chill. And now Sky, he knows that he can bully in lane, but he doesn't need to hug the Ogre. So now if other things are occurring on the map, he can make things happen. Like we're mentioning a lot about Void Spirit, Sky now has a free game to do what he wants, because Ogre in theory should have free entry into this game. Sure, it's a tech he's actually being the 5, but I like
Active
the Ogre.
Tiger again. I love it. That's what I like to hear. He gets to now just walk around the map. He gets to contest those wisdom runes again and feed his life away with Chew. for that 7-minute wisdom rune. But Kezu, yeah, let's go. Kezu, OG as well. You think this one's going to be a 2-0? We're going to have a bit of a quick Sunday Dota sesh.
I like their draft more, but D1 Hustlers have the type of heroes that they use well in order to win. I think Shadow, Void, and Atlantic on the Pango. But I worry a little bit about this early game, as T mentioned, where Tiger gets activated, he gets to go mid, and that might just be a big difference maker. But if Hustlers are even at 20 minutes plus, I really like their chances to win. So they just need to get there. You need to get there, bros, and you'll be fine.
Just bide your time until 20 minutes. Let's see if they'll make it that far in game number 2 with Lyrical and Trent.
Thank you so much, Nat, and the lovely panel. Trent, 20 minutes. It can't be that hard, right? They were only down like 10K last time at 20 minutes or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was a bit rough. But a better game this time around. We did see some of those smiley faces, too, to start. I think there were some tips that were going out also. Just a little bit of friendly extracurricular activity there. What do you think about the Ogre, though? Better Crimson Carrier than the AM?
No, that's for sure. This guy, he's really he's got no brains, but all brawn. So he is ready to carry the Crimson Guard. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's that. It's also a Lion. I mean, we got a couple of bit out there picks. We've had the offlane Ogre, but Lion, just a hero that is not making many appearances right now. Whenever we do see him, it's typically versus some sort of an illusion issue to try and make good use of the mana drain to pop those. You get a little bit of that on both sides versus Medusa, right? She usually does get some pretty annoying illusions, and mana drain, of course, is always going to be valuable. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how he builds this out.
Can I tell you what I did?
Please do.
Mana drain. I maxed mana drain.
Was that before or after you maxed Enfeeble?
Don't shut up. Nobody knows that reference.
Sorry.
No, but it was great. No, but the mana drain, look at how it scales, dude. You start at the beginning, you're like, oh, 20 mana per second. Nobody cares. 40. Ooh, that sucks. Oh, 60. That's a lot of mana drain. 120 mana drain? Are you kidding me? Look at how much mana that's going to drain from Medusa. She's not going to know what hit her.
I mean, it goes to, 6-second cooldown, 5 seconds channeling. Get yourself an Octarine or something. You could just mana drain the whole game. You could just never stop. You wouldn't have to do anything else.
The 25, too, as our lovely observer was showing us. Mana drain deals damage, too.
I'll tell you what. If Lion gets 25 this game and gets that talent, I will give you my most expensive cosmetic.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I think it's the one that I gave you, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope that's not my most expensive. Come on now.
Okay. Maybe not. Regardless, it is going to be an interesting start to this game here. Divine Llama pulling the wave back and away, and a different matchup mid lane. This time, Xantic playing on the Pangolier up against BZM, who takes that Void Spirit away from him. We'll see how he does. But, look at that one.
He got walked on. Trent? Yeah, I was watching. It was great. They hit him with the stun, and that was it. And then they just walked on him. I will say the buff to the Lion Spike is unreal. Like, Earth Spike feels so good now. It was one of the first things I tested after the patch, and it just blew my mind. It didn't even feel like the same hero anymore.
Right. Now he just needs that. I can't remember. The damage is dealt as they land, right? He needs the Nyx treatment, where that no longer happens.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he doesn't have the fun. Dude, the Nyx one, also an amazing change. That feels so much better for getting range creeps. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
It used to lose so many creeps in the laning stage because of that. But Lion can't have it all. He's got a Hex, okay? We got to relax on this guy. You know, he doesn't need too many buffs.
Do you like him in this game, though? I feel like it is a little bit of a weird one, but does seem like it has some value. Oh my god, Chew. Okay, Chew, they're not going to go all the way on him here.
I think it has a ton of value. I think whenever the shard is good, it's going to be nice. Because, like, theoretically, you have a good shot at getting the shard for free. There's even a spirit here. Because, like, there's Shadow Demon illusions, there's Medusa illusions, and then there's even a spirit who you're hexing. Those are all pretty solid. Skywrath Mage can certainly be a bit of an issue because you are a little bit on the lower range of things but until you have a Blink Dagger. So it can be easy for the Sky to control you. Sky currently controlling the Couriers. Gets Shad's Wraith Band on the way out.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. Okay, taking that one away, as you can see that up top, they're just keeping this sort of Chew Shadow Demon feeling somewhat uncomfortable, and Taiga just roaming around down bottom here. Trading hits with Hakoda is going to one of these Sticky mines, super annoying to deal with. But yeah, looking sort of at each of these lanes, Ogre's doing perfectly fine. The big one that I'm looking at is the Void Spirit, who's kind of putting it to Xantic again. Not having a good time at all.
Yeah, we've seen this matchup a lot lately. Picking that Void Spirit and Pango facing off against each other in the mid lane.
Chad?
And it's a bit of a... Yeah, this is not what we typically see.
Chad?
Chad?
Ooh!
Is under attack.
Blood grenade from long range takes him down. Wow, that's a lot of spam.
I mean, between that and an Ogre, it's pretty brutal. Of course, versus the Faceless Void, you really don't like damage over time if you're a Faceless Void, so having the 2 points of the Ignite's also going to be very frustrating for him. Does manage to get his courier back alive. It's a respawn, so has the Wraith Band now. It's going to help his pitiful damage versus the giant club of this Ogre.
Right.
And they're getting a lot of damage. They even Blood Grenade him now, and the Blast Off. But no bashes here, so...
A 10 stick charge, which keeps him alive and feeling healthy. The fact that DM can stay like this and still get some XP as the wave's pushing out is pretty huge, as Taiga makes that rotation towards mid, trying to secure and help this out. So yeah, Taiga doing what he wants, runs in, concussive shot, can throw it now, as BZM is going to get both of these water runes.
Yeah, nice secure there from Taiga. Making things real easy. And I mean, the other thing to talk about too is this Batrider, right? This was the first pick, and it winds up coming all the way around in the draft and being like, this is okay for offlane. That's what they decide here for Divine Llama. So didn't have the best time last game, obviously, on the anti-mage. Struggled a lot to get into these engagements and these fights, whereas OG, I mean, you saw DM. He had a great game early with this Batrider. He was very tanky. He's able to help control a lot of the space. So Divine Llama going to hope to do the same thing here.
Hoping to set that tempo because, again,
it's Xantic.
this Faceless Void, he might not have the best
He's out of
times,
mana.
and now that Pango is also getting ran at over and over again, yeah, he's going to have a lot of heavy lifting to do on this Batrider. Coda tries to find him. Not quite going to be there on the sticky bombs. Does still have the blast off, but Scarith Mage is so fast with these boots.
Coda had walked home to TP mid as well.
Chew? TP backing away from Yuragi. Now turns their sights onto Divine Llama, has 3 stacks of the poison up. The flare, or the snake goes out. It looks like Divine Llama's going to be fine. Mid lane at Xantic, he just TP'd back in. They try and go on him. Level 6 on BZM, has another Astral Step, but not going to commit it. So Hakoda doing a good job of showing up for this one.
Another TP, though, to the mid lane to refill a bottle here, as Chu will come on in for BZM. But 6 minutes is approaching fast. Taiga and Chu can help secure this bottom rune.
Tries to dodge away, and it's going to be top. Double damage. Theocore probably going to need to take that one as the Remnant is there. Hex comes out. Theocore slowed. It's Xantic. He gets the DD. Does he decide to turn, though? This might end up costing him. Has Swashbuckle back up again. Xantic jumped upon. Tries to get out. He did pop that DD, and with 4 stacks, he is gone.
Quattro. Easy. Man, Chu getting a lot done on this Shao team, I gotta say. Coming mid lane, securing the rune, just knowing that Yuragi's going to be relatively okay versus Bat. I mean, there is certainly a concern that he could dive him. He is low on mana, so someone needs to be ready to come top. But because one of the problems with Shao Demon 5 is that you can't stack Ancients, which is something you're really looking to abuse. So he is trying to make up for it by running to this Wisdom rune. Theolocor's here already. He has mana if he pops one for the Wisdom, but Theolocor can see him because of the Watcher.
Although, poison. Oh no! He outplayed him! Oh, jeez. And in the meantime, Divine Llama tries to find the kill onto Yuragi. Will get that one, but BZM plays cleanup. So Yuragi being shut down a bit. Still, Wisdom runes going the direction of OG.
Yeah, it turns into a bit of a wealth transfer there. Taking some gold from the Medusa and giving it over to the Void Spirit, with the Batrider killing and then dying.
Yeah. I think that, you know, what the panel was talking about, the value of this Ogre, the fact that he's so strong with this Vanguard and, like, impossible to kill, it's why Taiga can run around like this all the time.
And look at that damage. I mean, it's still going on the Ignite. Like, he's just dead. Oh, is he not?
Yeah.
Is he not dead? Hold. Wait.
Time walk, time walk, time walk. Mana, damage, out. Tries to jump away. I don't know if DM is stopping. He needs to get the hell out of here. Oh, God. Dude, it feels so bad to be Shad in this game right now.
That was really funny. It's like, on a wing and a prayer right there, man. I don't know. That was very ambitious.
BCM? Get him. Yeah, the gate was not going to save him there. 4 seconds was not going to happen.
You got to try something. I mean, it's a miserable matchup versus this ogre.
Right.
I think that's what I was trying to figure out in terms of OG's last pick. Because ideally, I would have wanted them to abuse stacks a little bit with more than just Medusa. But with the Shad team in the safe lane, you can't abuse them as much anyway. And instead, they just get an offlaner who can really try and shut down Shad. Because Shad's Faceless Void, I think, has been one of their best heroes. So I'm happy to see it prioritized here. The Core, though, Lion's a squishy one.
He lifted his finger to try and go for the stun. It doesn't end up happening. Core chased
try the gate.
Oh, it's not going to happen. Now, Hakoda is kind of in no man's land too. BZM almost takes him down with Chu in the area, manages to get the deny on the neutrals. So that was nice.
Didn't finish your plate there, huh? He tries to go for more kills, leaves him alone. He gets to the deny instead of just giving another kill over the Faceless Void. Swoops.
Yeah, I will say, like, we saw Divine Llama pull the double creep wave like into the camps and like farm those both up at the same time. It feels like he's trying to be as efficient as he can, but it's kind of one of those games where I'm just not sure how much value or like who's he play with in this one.
I mean, they have to get levels on the supports for sure. That's the main goal right now for both teams. Everyone just needs levels on their supports. And you know, you pointed out before the double wisdom runes. Well, that's good news for OG.
Absolutely.
Taiga is 6 with the ward kill. Chu is also 5.5 right now. And Xanthic might be dead.
Mystic Flare. Man, when a ward kill ensures a kill on mid, that's pretty big. Now, Hakoda tries to get out of there. Has 2 stacks of the poison. Won't be able to find any more from Chu.
Yeah, no jumps left there from BZM, so he's just going to have to let him go this time. BZM having another great game here. Almost into his Echo Saber right now. And the D1 Hustlers, yeah, like Dwai Llama, going to start getting involved here. And he's going to need those supports to help him out. Oh, it's just so easy.
That feels bad. God, that feels really bad. They just want to do anything, and it's not happening. And look at Shad. Like, this dude's just dying to the freaking ignite. There's nothing he can do.
I mean, it's 4 points now. It is painful. Time Walk is just not going to help you.
God. Well, DM, Bloodlust himself, ready to walk back in, throw some more ignite. Shad legitimately could just die to this.
Yes.
Just to get the hell out of there.
Very easily. He's going to jungle with his Spark of Courage. He's thinking about it here. Oh, yeah. Eat that Lotus to jungle. Oh, my God, he gets zapped. Bud.
He got zapped. Hakoda trying to get out now, too. They all have to run away. They manage to find and start to bring down this Techies while they kill off in mid a Rolling Thunder. Can they bring him down? They're not going to get BZM. Oh, my God, the taunt. He's going to get caught by that. Pulled back in. After the Rolling Thunder wears off, Taiga couldn't get there in time, though.
Dude, that would be kind of wild if that actually had worked. I haven't seen that interaction before.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one, actually, versus Pango in the later stages of the roll.
Yeah.
All right, so the main issue is that because Shad is having such a terrible time on the lane, and he's a Faceless Void, all right, well, never mind. We'll just never talk about it. It's fine. Hey, they got a comeback, or a kill back at least. Like some bit of a comeback. At least they trade. Trades are good for them right now.
Chu. Oh, Chu is there. Shad shows up, wants the chrono. BZM, he gets the Remnant connection. And they're not going to quite do it. And in fact, if Xanthic keeps chasing, there's a chance he just dies to this. This is going to be a 5th stack in a moment. Chu, keeping on him, looking for a 6th. Counts up to it. He walks back in and
about to take 818 damage. I like you can highlight it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So what's happening is that the Lion can't get AXP. I mean, Theodore has now been trying to sit mid for a little bit, but There was a Faceless Void just sitting bottom because he couldn't jungle, right? Now he's jungling up top, trying to find some safe place. So finally the supports are getting a little bit of time, but that's why they're such low level. They didn't get their Wisdom Runes, and they haven't had a lane to sit in. So that's why both supports are currently getting lane XP. It's because it's their only choice, because they need them to be able to rotate right now to help out Theolacor and Divine Llama. And that Foursome just has to win this game.
Well, can they do it? I mean, it's going to be very tough for them. But obviously that smoke up with Xantic and Theolacor trying to maybe find DM, but Taiga was already there to break the smoke. They are getting pretty much everything that they want on the map for OG. A 5k gold lead at 13 minutes.
Oh, can we watch if he gets it?
If it was even.
Sorry.
Panel said if it was even, it would have been good, but this is not looking like it's going to even be close.
The problem is, how do these 4 heroes kill someone?
Yeah.
They don't even have a Diffusal Blade on the Pango yet, but I also feel like they kind of need to do something right now.
Right.
I mean, I guess if OG just go mega passive and try and farm up themselves, then they can take advantage of this window on D1 Hustlers and not push too much. But, like, there's no good initiator right now on the side of the Hustlers. Batrider's still trying to work on an Octarine. It is done now. Okay, there we go. So then bots into the Blink makes some possibilities occur, but, I mean, this techies just can't do anything.
No, no plays are currently being had. And yeah, those deaths, they feel really, really tough. I mean, this is kind of going to be one of those games, it feels like, where if they don't get something going with those level 6s online, which they now have on the Lion, they're just going to be hounded from tower to tower dropping. Because Medusa's got Manta, working probably on Butterfly next.
All right, we got Wisdom Runes, though. That bumps up Hakoda to 6. Big deal for him. Getting himself in the game. Also still available for the Dire.
Wow. Look at that Dota plus win probability.
I don't disagree.
Yikes.
They need a big OG overextension into a Chrono. That's pretty much the way this has to go right now.
True.
And they don't even have great Chrono damage, like,
yeah,
you know? But I guess they have Diffusal on Pango. That's pretty huge. You can definitely, if you get the right angle and like hit 2 or 3 heroes during the Chrono, that'd be pretty sick. Taiga, though, gonna get a silence into death.
Wow. Just followed the fire. And now, Xantic, TM has Fire Blast. Hakoda wants to turn it, but it's not gonna happen. Chu on a killing spree, all cores at the top of the net worth. My goodness, OG, they want to stay in Div 1, and they are doing it right now. Silence there onto Hakoda. He is going to die. This is a beatdown.
Okay, that might have been happening mid, but DM just went to Midas the creep wave. He used it on the catapult and a multicast on the range creep. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Oh my god.
That's just the good stuff.
Jeez. Dude, this game is tough. DM has a mechanism now. They're getting everything that they want right here and now.
And whose scribbles are those? The lion scribbles, I believe, on the map there, Theolacor?
Yeah.
And I can't tell if that says, go in here, I want a ward, or never go here.
Well, he went there.
Yeah.
The level 1 mana train. Not what they wanted completely. Medusa Illusions doing what they can. Can they get this kill? They will. All right, they get on the board. And
meanwhile, though,
yeah, yep. That's Divine Llama down.
Does have Boots of Travel. He's the most farmed hero on his team. Still behind all 3 cores of OG, but at least he's got something started here.
True.
Oof. Well, Yuragi, I mean, he's still just mad chilling. He is through his Manta, almost into his second ultimate orb here. Tormentors, Aegis won't be as fast this game for OG3 at least. They don't have that like Templar assassin to snowball things, and there's a grab.
Yeah. BZM says, okay, never mind. Not going to go through that gate. Sorry, guys. gonna go push out that other lane instead. Chu is now sitting behind DM. But yeah, a rotation back up top now by the Batrider. Seeing if they can get anything done. I feel like this game would have, like, this Ogre just completely destroyed that bottom lane. It feels like that is what allowed this to get so completely out of hand. Shad just does not have a game. We haven't seen a chrono yet.
Yeah, it definitely helped a lot. I mean, it sounds silly, but even like losing that Wraith Band too, you know? Like he just could not contest the last hits. He was still that far behind. That's going to be a kill though. Okay, they're picking them apart a little bit here. Is OG have made some moves to the supports. But now they're out of spells here as they approach the top rune. I think he just killed himself.
Yeah, of course, gone. And maybe gonna find another. Xantic stunned, Mystic flared, and gone. So D1 Hustlers get 3 kills back-to-back on supports, but then get punished. Pretty freaking hard with the phylactery reveal.
Damn, BZM is just bringing out a full Manta right now. This guy is just unstoppable. They need to kill him during Chrono, or I guess they have Lasso too. I don't know, I just feel like he's going to be so tanky and he has so much damage too. He hits for over 200.
Universal Heroes, man. Some wild stuff. It's crazy.
That's something.
It's stat gain too. I mean, it's one of the highest
he got
in
a
the
Ring
game.
of Aquila. That's pretty good on this hero too, huh?
Jeez. Well, Divine Llama, they're eyeing him up mid. There they go.
Oh, are they about to smoke? Oh no.
Oh, hello everybody. How are you? Oh,
Nice hex.
though. Where's the disruption? It's coming late. He's not there at all, but they
Dude, that
missed on the roll, and
silence!
now he's stuck. He's stuck on the roll. Oh, God. That was not the way it was supposed to go.
That ancient seal on Divine Llama, he couldn't get off the lasso. He's just floating on top of this Void Spirit. He's got nothing to do.
Yikes. Big plays from Taiga, and now it's Xantic. That was supposed to be their big moment. It did not work for them. 12K gold lead now. And I mean, if you're thinking about what's been going on, like, we'll have to look at how much damage Medusa's been doing. She's just AFK farming, like literally doing nothing, getting into a Scotty next.
Look at this play they're trying to make. They're trying to catch him going to the bottom camps down by his own base, but Shad has instead moved his way over to the gate and is going through.
Yeah.
But they will still end up leaving some vision behind here to remove some of his spaces to farm. Have we had a chrono yet? We haven't, right?
No chrono.
Okay.
Shad going towards the Mjolnir. OG making the decision to, okay, let's go claim Roshan. Man, OG, they have really turned things around. I think back to, Tour 2 and how they had that like miraculous comeback to make it to the major, and obviously won't be going to the major this time, but they have really turned things around in the last couple of weeks, it feels like.
I mean, they crushed Entity in that last series, like to the point where it was just unbelievable. Like it's OG looked like a whole new team, and here again today, they're bringing that out, showing why they don't deserve to be in any sort of a relegation tiebreaker.
Right.
It's too bad they couldn't find some of this fire a little bit earlier in the season, but perhaps giving themselves some hope as they move to the end of this one. It is definitely looking like they're planning on staying in Division 1 at the moment.
Right. They can close this game out up 11K at 21 minutes. That would put them in really good spot. But D1 Hustlers, they still have some things up their sleeves. You can see Pangolier going in for the Aghanim Scepter. He almost has it completed. That's a pretty big damage increase. And, it's looked terrible for D1 Hustlers recently, but it just means there's room to grow, right?
Yeah.
Use a chrono, maybe. Oh, Lasso. Using ultis, very good. Getting a kill on Chu. And they find more.
They just need the stars to align in a couple of fights. And it can happen, all right? It's difficult, but can't get there. Now, DM, we're on multicast to watch here. Let's see what he's got with his Midas. He's going to find a big camp. Boo! Unlucky, I guess.
No good. One thing that is very good for DM, though, is that on top of Greaves, he's about to have Crimson Guard done. Has it brought out now. And unlike the last game, this is a hero with a lot of strength.
The big Crimson Guard. It is a lot of magic damage, at least for the Hustlers. So.
Oh my god, Shad, no. Shad, no. Shad, no! Taiga, why'd you have to do it to him? Phylactery, too strong. And, well, Chu is going to be saved by his buddy, Mr. DM, the big bad ogre. Thelio Core turned upon. They do manage to find the lasso onto BZM, but Man has a regen rune and an Aegis. So he goes down one time. Will they be able to kill him again? Illicourt will have a Hex at the ready. Oh, no. Oh, God. And then Xantic now in more trouble. He is going to die to the spam. Blink away from Divine Llama. But a tough situation for the D1 Hustlers as OG knowing what they need to do to win and doing it perfectly.
Yuragi wondering if he's going to get a chance to play some Dota in this game. Has shown up for a fight. I'm here, guys. Can I get a hero damage check? Oh, never mind. Well, game time.
The Chrono turnaround. This is what they needed, but the save, the disruption's there for the Ogre. Mystic Flare down on the Shad. The only hero to die from the Chronosphere was the Faceless Void. As OG, they will not be denied, but Xantic burning mana. Force Staff gets him away. Save coming out from Taiga again. The lasso is going to connect onto BZM in trouble and no chance for a disruption.
Okay.
So, OG, step a bit too far and get punished.
Taiga? Dead?
Taiga? Dead. That's a lot of gold. Chu, maybe also in trouble. So this is going to be OG losing 4 heroes as the blink in comes out and Chu ends up dying to a Xantic.
All right, I really want to see the swing now.
Dire's middle tower
Oh, that's a big swing considering there's a buyback there.
Yeah. Much needed for D1 Hustlers.
And they didn't even lose the tower. So they'll still have the glyph if they were to come back and immediately fight again.
Right.
It's probably going to put them into waiting for the Roche there, too. 6k total damage on the
no.
Medusa. He's
I was looking at the
yeah, we don't look at the
3.7
void,
per
you know.
Shad. Poor guy.
All that damage was basically one fight there. Yuragi
Right.
coming high ground, pretty much. The mad chillin' did just get that nullifier delivered, as you saw.
Do you think
And-
as the Shard's going to be going to Skywrath, there's any lost value in not going for that butterfly on Dusa? Because, you know, all those hits from the Mjolnir were coming in on her there. Do you think it's okay?
I mean, I think either's kind of fine. The old court. You good? You good? You good? All right. All right.
he's
Low
good.
close. Gets the shard. Much needed. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Certainly, you know, there's some merit to being helpful during the chrono, like if you're being like single target focused, but it also doesn't do anything versus some of the other stuff they have. So
Radiant's top tower is under
I respect the choice.
All right.
It's just like more overall tankiness just by going Scotty.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah.
has fallen.
That's fair. Starts to become just unbeatable beatdown machine.
Radiant's top tower is
It looks
and
way
she's-
cooler too, by the way. You know,
Oh, yeah.
You like shoot those little particles out. So
Dire's middle tower
True.
has been denied.
A deny there onto mid as the rest of OG gonna start to head out together. One might have gotten caught seeing the smoke head over this direction. And it looks like D1 Hustlers are respecting that move, and a blink dagger picked up next for Medusa, ready to get in on the action.
I love the earlier blinks on Medusa. I think like abusing her ulti can just
Radiant's middle
completely
tower
win
is
team
under
fights, and
attack.
it's something you don't necessarily expect that much from the hero, especially when there's already a decent amount of jump and everything on the team. Because
Right.
you got this Void who's just like flying on in there. I also think a blink on DM would be pretty fun, but he's just going for a pipe instead. But I really like when ogres can just like force themselves in the middle of the fight.
Right.
Kind of has a hard time doing that right now, but they also still have that blink on Chu that we saw earlier when he's trying to escape. So it is tough to position in these fights. Versus OG as Hakoda will escape with help of a glimmer. And they'll let him go for now.
Is under attack.
Oh, they're running in. Say nothing for free. And I guess next round of... Oh my god, Hakoda. Illicourt blinks away, because that is the blink dagger reveal of the lion now. And taking the stack that was just built while simultaneously pushing out each of these lanes, Divine Llama able to get some separation away from Chu.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's going the long way around here. Gonna try and catch a wave and then TP home probably.
Yeah.
Burn this
Yeah,
one
they-
out here.
Divine Llama, in terms of the way that he's playing the map, it's very good. Like, cutting this next wave now, OG really, they don't have any wave coming into this top side at all. They're going to have to go somewhere else on the entire side of OG.
Yeah, that also gets him the gold for the pipe, so perhaps that can be enough in a smoke that they can just get themselves over the edge to sustain through something.
Right.
Damage issues are still pretty prevalent, though. Like, what is their big damage in these fights?
Right.
They have long form damage in something like Lasso, or sorry, not Lasso, but like the Firefly. But they really need that like Lasso blow up into chase down. It feels like that's their one hope. The way it sort of broke down last time from OG.
Oh.
So they do catch Shad, but he has BKB and Time Walk, so it seems getting there.
Doesn't feel great.
He wanted to like chrono those two, but then he's like, there's Shadow Demon. Like I just can't, right? Like if I chrono the Ogre in the sky, then one of them just getting disrupted, and then my teammates aren't quite close enough.
Right. If you don't get meaningful kills too, they probably just walk high ground against you.
Yeah. But they're going to be able to control this space with the help of the techies, start planting all these mines down. That one important chrono. We're going to try and find that moment.
See if they can get that done. Ward in the area scouts these movements from all of OG, but did manage to get that roll up. Keeps him alive. Roche a minute away from respawning, so it's going to be down bottom, where OG are going to most likely attempt to bully D1 Hustlers back and then secure that for themselves.
That's huge, because they can get down there now and start planting mines on Hakoda, which is exactly what he's going to try and do. And now you can see OG immediately TPing. They recognize that they want to take control of the space. Taiga doesn't have any wards on him. They are going to find Shad. Oh, remember, he has no BKB.
Oh, Shad, not like this. They bring down the Faceless Void 7 seconds away and no buyback. Oh, man, they're finding more. I mean, D1 Hustlers, again, the way that they're playing the map, they're buying themselves time, but to go out like this one hurts.
That's just raw map mobility there from OG, right? The TPing of the Medusa and the Skywrath Mage recognizing that they have a chance to go and punish down there with this vision they've had, just controlling all the space. Great ward down there.
Right.
They just saw that as DM. Oh, just moving past it now. It's like easy.
True. Spots that Roche is up. It respawned right as he threw out that Shadow Poison. So, going to try and close this game out now. Yuragi starts making the move down bottom while he's building up a Daedalus.
Oh, what's the plan here, guys? I mean, Shad could always TP in. But, yeah, looks like they're just going to say we don't have the time for it. I mean, it's only second, so it's not like the absolute, like, we have to be here no matter what, Roche. But obviously versus Faceless Void, versus Batrider, Aegis is one of the best counters you can get in the game.
Right. Roche starts to go down. And what are D1 Hustlers' answers going to be? They are grouped together. Almost look like they want to go for a smoke or something, but it's OG that are going to head out together and try and find somebody, and they might just get somebody big.
Well, there's no Dusa here. Maybe this is the fight they need.
Chu blinks and aggressively finds him. Shad finds Chu now. BZM right there on top of him. Atlantic going back and forth with the roll. They still have that Chronosphere. Throws it now out onto both of them. Damage is out, but they didn't get Yuragi. Yuragi starts to turn, starts to blow him up. Taiga gets the Mystic Flare off, and he walks away. Oh, the shard. It gave him so much armor. And magic resist from the end, but Defy Llama still able to take him down. Unfortunately for the D1 Hustlers, though, that was just the two supports. 17k net worth lead, and down lanes they run.
Yes, they do manage to break through the Shield of Scion, but at what cost? Everybody just going down there. That's a lot of gold. Another 1,000 there for the Void Spirit. So BZM just having another fantastic game here. He is as rich as can be. He's got himself a Taiga's gem as well to help out. Thank you, Taiga. Your death was not in vain. So, yeah, it's a clutch little game here. I don't know. I don't mind them fighting out there as Hustlers. I get it. Like, you know that OG is just going to play this high ground fight in such a frustrating way because you have to base it entirely around Chrono and Lasso into a Shadow Demon. Like, it's it's not going to go well. So I can appreciate trying to find a fight somewhere else on the map, but again, OG are very quick on the responses. They got Yuragi there right away. He blinks in with the Stone Gaze, help disrupt the ending of that Chrono, and carry through the rest of that fight.
Well, and they still do have some ways to defend against this because Lasso is back up, Rolling Thunder is back up. Helio Core. Oh, he just drops very quickly, and now Hakoda starting to fall, but there's the lasso onto BZM. Will it be enough? The silence is there onto Shad. Still can't do much. Does manage to get the time walk off. Well, Xantic continues his roll. BZM under control and going to die. Now they have the Hex onto Medusa. Helio Core draining the mana. They're starting to fall, but Yuragi is still so tanky, so hard to kill. Disarmed for a bit, but not long enough. And Shad has to jump away. Yuragi, all mana gone from this Medusa, but still hanging on to that Aegis. Yuragi is a problem. DM
Is it enough?
just moves on in, ready to punch people. This Ogre doesn't care.
Oh, they can get her. Go, Devi.
Trying
Take her to the
desperately.
well. Take her to the well and kill her twice.
They go for BZM again. Shad, Chrono, he's
What a
actually back up.
save.
Shad with the Chrono connects onto 2. Do they have the damage? I think they do. BZM is dieback. Oh, Yuragi still has that Aegis. Is going to come back full HP. And now Bloodlust from DSM. Okay, never mind. DM is really hard to deal with Yuragi nearby. When she comes back, they are still going to unload on him. No Chrono. Lasso not up for 10 seconds. Oh, God, can they do it? This is going to be a hard hold.
Dude, they are not stopping. Void Spirit are not. They do not care. Bloodlust Medusa hitting, slapping, and Chew in the back there looking for the saves. Oh, gets the bat instead.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird one there. The disarm, okay. Burning Yuragi down, but Shad just did not stand a chance. And yeah, they really do not care about this Batrider. They are going to head bottom, secure themselves mega creeps. OG looking to close out this game to 2-0 the D1 Hustlers. Stay in Division 1. They don't have creeps. Some are coming in now. The disarm from the reactive taser. But Hakoda, he is going to die. The techies buyback. 20 seconds until Lion, 40 until Void, but the damage has been done. Megas are there. Devi Lama jumps in, wants to find something, not getting it, but the jump in. Oh man, to dodge Hakoda. Didn't get the stun off, did get the disarm from the taser. Tries to find the kill. It is going to be Taiga going down. He buys back. It's Xantic right on top of Yuragi. All mana gone. Lion coming back in. Has the finger of death, but not enough. GG is called. OG are staying in Division 1.
A big old multicast there. Sit down. Get off my Medusa. And 2 games through there from OG DM. Yeah. Smiles. He's like, oh, get out of my face. Victory. Shut that camera off. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Unbelievable. Wow. Oh, hello there. How's it going? Got a little sneak preview. Unbelievable. Very, very solid showing from OG. They take care of business quickly. You know, I think that this was one of the more like locked and loaded, we knew what was going to happen type of games from very early on. DM, I love that Ogre pick.
Yeah, it went exceptionally well. I mean, again, Shad's Faceless Void. It's been a great hero for them. They've tried it a couple times. It hasn't always won, but I would say that it's always looked like a pretty clear way to try and play with him and try and take this game. Like, let him have some control, but he didn't even get online in this game. I mean, how many chronos? By the time he was chronoing, the game was pretty much decided. You said no opportunities there. OG, again, prioritizing those Wisdom Runes as well, completely ruined the early game for the 2 supports, and they desperately needed those 2 supports to play with the Batrider and the Pengo because they just weren't able to get enough farm in their lanes really to survive, or enough farm to actually put any sort of pressure on this map. So OG just super clean execution in the early game, and they just set Yuragi to just come through and steamroll this game when he was ready.
When he was ready, he came online, definitely. Well, OG, they pull it out. We're going to have a relatively quick Sunday here as they get the 2-0 win over the D1 Hustlers.
Yeah, Kazu, we thought maybe if they got to 20 minutes, there could have been signs of life. I don't know. They just weren't able to get there at all. This Ogre Magi was another level pick.
I mean, yeah, it was a clean pick. It basically just AFK farmed in the side lane that we expected, and then on top of that, look at this already entering the highlights. Who's mid? There's an SD, there's a Skywrath Mage. They're constantly applying pressure to Xantic, who feels kind of like the pivotal piece in this draft for D1 Hustlers. If he can break the game, move to the Batrider, you'll get kills. If he goes to the Void with Chrono, they'll probably find kills, but he'll shut down so early that it was just kind of backwards play for the rest of the game for D1 Hustlers. So the support duo plus BZM crushing the mid, DM AFK farm, Yoragi AFK farm. It's a recipe for a quick game too.
Yeah, it was a little bit AFK. Just got to sit in lane, put the Ignite out into Faceless Void, make him have the worst time. And it's unfortunate for Hustlers, Kezu, because we heard Trent just talking about at the end there that whilst Faceless Void has brought together so many lineups for them before, there just was no space at all for D1 Hustlers and what they were trying to do in Game 2.
They just had, I think, a lot of issues that they had to deal with. First of all, this Ogre was a very good pick. It's kind of like the range, it's like the melee Venomancer in this Void matchup. He just ignites you, and you over time just, you just kind of don't want to be in the lane anymore, right? Eventually you're like, okay, this is garbage, I have to jungle, but then he has this Vanguard guy, so he just free farms, he builds good items with the Greaves. In the meantime, you have a Xantic who's losing mid, which, yeah, I think you can lose this matchup a little bit. I would say he lost it a bit too hard, and then the follow-up, you know, Taiga is allowed to move mid, and now this all, like, it compounds on each other. Now your Pango has no game, your Void has no game, and suddenly it feels like no one has a game. Because you can't do, like, they had a hard time finding plays to go together. They should have probably looked at it perhaps a little harder, but game was hard.
Game was hard too. When you're in a position like that, and when we see these two lineups, obviously trying to use as much hindsight as possible, because that's what we have the gift of as being panelists. What could D1 Hustlers have changed? Like, at what point or timing where you're like, okay, this was a little out of step for OG, or was there never that moment?
It's a bit difficult just because I think of the Lion. Because traditionally you'd argue techies would sync up with +1 and Batrider and try and take the fight to the carry or something, and then that would alleviate the pressure on mid, so there's like an honest Void Spirit v Pango, and then it's kind of on who gets the runes and stuff. But because OG kind of made the first move, D1 Hustlers never could make it. So if anything, the answer is just make the first move, and maybe this Lion pick in hindsight, if you know you're under the threat of aggression, Lion doesn't do well. That's why we don't see it too often. So it's probably kind of those two main factors.
To go with that real quick about the Lion, I definitely think one thing that they should have done is, no matter what hero they're playing in this offlane or his last pick, I think more has to come from it. Like, there's definitely an opening where you can leave the Batrider alone top as well when he has like this Ring of Health against a Medusa SD lane. Like, who really cares? They're not going to hit you that much. Maybe he can go mid at the same time Skywrath goes mid. Maybe he can use the gate, go to the safe lane, and like try to be the X factor of killing the Ogre before he has Vanguard, or making it harder for Taiga to move mid. So yeah, I definitely think there had to be more done, because you know your enemy team's going to move mid. You need to have an answer for that. You can't just let it happen and be like, oh, well, I guess they went mid. I wasn't ready for it. You got to be ready, bro.
I guess as Ogre gets to free farm now, there's nothing we can do. He has that Vanguard, but yeah, nice solid build on Ogre, nice rotations from Sky. Unfortunately, Lion just not really finding the place for it. Try and be a little bit more proactive rather than reactive next time. But an MVP. Do we go Taiga back-to-back for the Skywrath? Do we go DM on the Ogre? Guys, I'm hyping everyone up,
someone else.
No, yeah, so I misheard. I thought you said the person I wanted to say, so I'm not those two.
Okay, BZM on the Void Spirit?
That's mine.
I swear to God.
That's mine.
That's mine.
No,
Okay.
I was just baiting you.
I thought you were going to wait until I got to who we were going to interview, and then you were going to be like, yep, that person, that one right there.
No,
But
that's tea of the past, and now we must
I'm
truly.
a fresh tea.
I'm a freshly brewed tea, and my golly gosh, does BZM deserve the MVP? He had it stolen from him in Game 1 by his panel, but in Game 2, he will prevail with his stellar performance once again.
Hey, I tried to give BZM MVP in Game 1, and you guys were like, no. It's all about what these supports did for him. But now, BZM, 2 games back-to-back, absolutely shone Kez when he got his MVP.
This time around, I think he really deserves it, because in this game, when your mid laner is doing this well, he's making it easy for you to come mid. And I think that's what happened. Because Taiga's like, oh, I get to play Skywrath in a free lane. I get to go mid. Oh, I go mid. And then Xantic has like 20% HP. I don't mind if I do get this kill or assist. So it's like, it's just very simple for them to play.
One concussive shot out.
Yeah, it's
One
easy.
crystal shot out and he just takes it. Yeah, super easy. And hopefully the next thing on the docket is going to be super easy. Our winners interview. Yuragi is going to be joining us here. We get to have a bit of a chat with him. Yuragi, congratulations. You guys staying in Div 1 now after a bit of a rough start. So how did this week start off for you guys? You weren't in a very easy position. So what was the team mood and sort of the conversations occurring in the back end?
Hey, thanks. I mean, we had a good mood going into these two last games. And we had to win, right?
Yeah. Yeah, was it a lot of Misha in the back end working with you guys, feeling more confident about what he was drafting? Or where exactly do you think was the big improvement from, what was occurring in week 1 and 2 to now in week 3?
I mean, of course, a lot of impact from Misha, and I think our drafts these two last series were really good. Like, we outdrafted every single game, and feels pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's a team effort still, so props to everyone.
Yeah, of course. T, if you want to go with some questions.
Yeah. First of all, I have a really dumb question. I was looking at your Wikipedia page, and you used to go under the ID space. Why did you change to Yuragi? Maybe this was already an answer you've given before, but I just wondered. Yeah.
I just want something new. I don't really care about the name. Just needed to refresh. It's just.
Were you losing when you were space? So was it like a rebrand to help you start winning?
Nah, it was not about that. Just needed something new.
Sure. I guess serious question now. When you knew that you guys weren't able to make it to this final major and then kind of control your fate towards DPC points towards TI, kind of what was your perspective on like the remainder of your games? Was it kind of survival for Division 1? Was it like seeding for TI qualifiers? Like how did you approach kind of this kind of the hardships of this kind of tail end of Tour 3? Deep question, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I personally just I didn't care too much about not going to the major, probably. I mean, when I already knew the chances were low, because I just want to focus on getting to TI, and so that matters to me. But of course, I don't want to go to Division 2 and let down OG and have 2 OG teams in Division 2. That would be a shame. So.
Oh, that's fair. But I mean, I think you've been asked this before, but you wouldn't lose to the other OG team, right? If they were to come to Division 1, now that you're secured?
Sorry? Say again?
Like, if the old G, they qualified to Division 1, where do you think they would place in the division? Including yourself.
I don't know.
Like, where?
It's very rough.
Say last.
It would be very rough for them. I think. I mean, every team that comes from Division 2 just gets relegated, I guess. I mean, it wasn't the case for Oridu, the only one I can think of. But yeah, the competition is rough.
So I guess follow-up question quickly then, sorry, is who do you think's stronger than going into tomorrow for elimination, best of 3? Entity or D1 Hustlers? Because D1 Hustlers are the Div 2 team that freshly come up.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say Entity, because they got just more experience in these, death fights. I don't know. Both teams are looking kind of equal.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Hello, Yuragi. Let's see. I think this DPC season for you individually has been very good. I've been very impressed with your individual gameplay. Sadly, it didn't, really work with the team as a whole, but you specifically have looked very good. Is there anything in specific that you worked on or you feel like you got better at?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the grind has been going on for quite some time, like from the last season into the major, into Dream League, into major, and now here, and maybe I just got the flow. Just playing and doing my stuff.
So you wouldn't attribute it to anything specific. It's more like the vibe, the flow has been like pretty nice for you.
Yeah, for me it was all right. Doing my best.
In some of the games that you played and you lost, like I don't know if you remember, you played Monkey King against Liquid. I think you had a very good scoreline. Is there anything in the recent losses that you guys had where you feel like had you done something different or better that you guys could have won? Like, do you ever have that feeling?
No, I mean, yeah, of course. Some games make stupid mistakes, and maybe I wish I hadn't done them. But it's Dota.
Yeah.
But generally, I think if we lose, they're just a better team. So.
Of course. And let me see. I had one more. Was there any carry pick that happened lately for you where you really didn't want to play that hero? Like, does that ever happen to you? Or do you always have the final say of the hero you're going to be given in the game?
No, I mean, I was trying to win with Windranger. It didn't go so well. But I still do want to win with Windranger, and maybe on Dream League I'll try to.
Yeah, you'll have a Dream League or the TI quals maybe, and then you can go to TI and then win TI with it. Hope that works out for you.
Yeah, we'll
but
see.
that's all for me.
I actually have one very quick follow-up question. I weirdly enough was going to ask him about this Wind Ranger because we've seen it flexed in a lot of different positions in this patch, and I want to know for you, why do you think it works well in Pos 1? Like, why are you trying so hard to win with her despite having not so great results in officials just yet?
Oh, it's a feel-good hero first of all, and it's universal hero. You can buy very good items on it, like can help it play the game and also scale it very well. Like all the stats items fit really well on this hero.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Yuragi, thank you so much for joining us. And look, congratulations again on winning today and staying in Div 1 here in Western Europe. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Well, with that, we now know OG are going to be one of the 6 teams remaining here in Western Europe. Unfortunately, they do miss out on going to the major, but they don't have to worry about tiebreakers, Kezu. They don't have to think about the possibility that maybe we drop down to Div 2, and they looked fantastic this week. I really genuinely don't know what it is. Like, their opponent at the start of this week was up against Gaming Gladiators, but ever since then, my gosh, they've looked on fire.
I mean, they've... I think I would say they've built up some of their confidence again, and their gameplay has definitely looked a lot better in the recent 2 series. You know, granted the fact that you did play against easier opponents, but still, you still might have happened. So OG should be, you know, considering the position they were in, they shouldn't be too sad now. I mean, they should actually be somewhat happy with where they ended up with, I think.
Yeah. And with this leaderboard, we've had our final series played. Everyone's played 7 series. Tundra looked in first. Game In looked in first. Liquid Quest going to have to tie break it out, but guarantee Bali. OG guaranteed Div 1. Entity Hustlers. Who really knows what's happening with those 2 teams still? But Secret will be unfortunately dropping down to Division 2 despite so many great showings from them in different series. We can have a look at our schedule, because I'm sure that's what everyone wants to know. When are these tiebreakers taking place and who's going to be playing first? Well, it's going to be Team Liquid up against Quest. Obviously, we can't start with the high anticipated tiebreaker elimination. That one starts at 4 p.m. CST, and then it is going to be a rolling schedule. So the time shown for the second series might not be super accurate. If you want to guarantee you watch that series and find out who will be going down to Division 2 between Entity and Hustlers, make sure you tune in for the whole entire day, T. Will you be here?
Yes, I will. I would like to get paid if that's possible. I would like to also watch Incredible Dota. That's also very cool. Because I would like, you know, the first series, you said it wasn't as important as the second, but it is. for the Quest
It's
fans.
DPC.
Because
That's true.
they still
DPC
have
points.
the DPC points. 100 points are on the line. And at this
That's
point
true.
in DPC, if they make some incredible run at Barley, this 100 points could be the make or break if they get a cheeky invite or not.
Calling it now. T is calling it now. Clip it and ship it, guys. Get it ready in like 1
How
month.
many
Get it
points do
ready.
they have? Okay, so they have 132. They get the 200 here, puts them at 332. 600 goes 932, and right now the threshold is 1200.
They are creeping their way into automatic invite. If they win this series against Liquid and then win the major, then they have a shot, maybe slim pickings, getting their slot. Because already 9th to 12th is 900 to 700 points. Like, it's not as if them getting 932 in this miracle run is going to be the perfect scenario, right?
Well,
but
maybe.
they have a shot.
Maybe they just get granted too many points, or they screw up the ladder, which has happened before, and then Quest Esports #1 on the DPC ranking. Let's go. That's what I want.
That's what you're going for right there. I love it. But I mean, I'm just more hyped for that final series because Entity, they played in the tiebreakers in 2-1 and were able to make it to the major. They played in tiebreakers in 2-2. They got to stay in Division 1. Now in 2-3, they're going for tiebreakers again. Are they going to be able to come out victorious for a third time? Who really knows? The only way to know is to make sure that you tune in tomorrow for our tiebreakers. Like I said, first game starting at 4 p.m. CEST. We'll see you then.
This guys.
Pull them anywhere in the map. It's
Keep
useful.
in top. Keep in top.
He dead to me.
I'm sure. Can you ult him? I'm with everything. You got cancelled. Don't worry, I'll see.
DV can. What is that, guys? Not DV. I think.
Yeah, they just I'm gonna come.
What kind of
I'll help him, yes.
They have no Astral.
We can exit. Nice.
I can start on bad guys if I see him. I will just blink, disruption,
Yeah.
follow up on BZM.
Yeah, I follow.